Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ HAMP about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat, and to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels, and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, to back the facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show. Yeah, it's a broadcast. It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ HAMP about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat, and to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels, and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, to back the facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show. Yeah, it's a broadcast. It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ HAMP about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat, and to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels, and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, to back the facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show.
Yo, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, man. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. DJ HAMP the Stampede. I got my brothers in the building with me. Fellas, what's poppin'? How you feeling? Sel, what up?
What up, though? You know what it is. What's poppin'?
Indeed, indeed. We grinding, trying to do the right thing, man. What's goody, man? How you feeling?
I'm good today.
Indeed.
Can't talk about yesterday.
It be like that sometimes. You heard?
Awesome.
And I don't even say sometimes. Cheeky, what's poppin'?
How you feeling, dog?
I'm trying to do the right thing, man. You know, I had to do a move today by myself because niggas called out, aka got fired. They be thinking you be scared. They be thinking, oh, we label, but I do it myself then. Yeah. This company got this big because I was putting it on my back. You heard? Pause. You know? So shout out to them brothers, man. They open up a spot for another brother. That's all it is. You know? Aaron, what's goody?
All systems functioning within normal operational parameters.
Indeed.
Wow.
Devin, what's popping?
What's up? What's up? How you guys doing this evening?
Okay, you got the lighting popping and all that too?
A little something.
You on your cheeky shit for real. Okay, I like it. Mufasa, what's good?
Yo, what's popping with you, man?
Yo, what's popping, man? Yo, hold on. Mufasa, you can't really... up north slang don't really go with your jargon. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, son. I got myself from here. But you know it's going to get that country twang going to come right on back. You know
Indeed, you already...
trying to beat the heat, man.
Yo, I'm telling you, how hot is it in North Carolina?
Shoot, it's about 96.
96?
So right there. Yeah.
Sound about right.
Rolling full blast, man.
I'm telling you, man. $500 later, man. You know?
Yeah. In that bit.
I'm trying to tell you, man. All gigs was goody.
What's popping?
Everything's everything, man. How you feeling?
Cooling, man. Cooling like a fan as usual.
Indeed, man. We all trying to do the right thing, man. Speaking of that, man, please hit the like button. We got 60 people in the building. We only got 20 likes. That is egregious. The mics help them viewership, man. Okay, all right, cool. Like, share, subscribe, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let me see you in the chat real quick before we get it popping, man. Salute to everybody in the building so far. Fish in the Fit was good. E-Dub in the building. Rel Lee was popping. JJ, you already? What's goody? Keeps it 100. I see you. Long head pause was popping. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Hope everything's everything. Nightbot behaving. That's always a blessing. Mandrell was good, man. Ain't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well. You heard? Caressa was popping. Nah, it's not that many. Well, I don't know all that many. You know what I'm saying? Quincy was goody. Hampton. You say excuse me. Hampton. Yeah. All right, beat him up. Foe was good. Rob Jitsu was popping. Him and the dog be beefing. He be losing. Queen T was good. Boot camp was popping. Good to see you. Rock solid in the building, man. Hit the like button. We got 80 people in the building. We only got 30 likes. Let's hit the like button. That helps the viewership. That helps the channel the most, man. Damn, man. Everybody feeling good. Let's get it popping.
Run! It's a stampede!
DJ Ham the Stampede. DJ Ham the Stampede.
So Cheeky had this hypothesis. So he said, let's mine it out in real time. You know, there's a particular alignment that comes with a particular thought process or ideology is his hypothesis, you know? So I wanted to ask you about a few different things and what is your assessment? Okay? Good?
All right.
Selly Cell, my brother, since day one, since we had 15 people in the chat, you heard?
Those
Man,
good old days.
the BBW Eliminator, you heard?
Damn right.
Government.
Well, I'm retired now. I'm married.
Indeed. Salute the Raw, you heard? Raw, we love you already, man. That was years ago and all that. Get nigga in trouble soon as you open your mouth. Shit crazy, bro.
Hey, see a repeat from the first This Might Be Risky. Wow.
Wow.
So, Victim Olympics.
Yeah. What about it?
They said if it was a 4x1, black people leading in that race. What you think about the Victim Olympics? Do you think black people are by choice perpetual victims?
Absolutely. Without question. Well, so the easiest way to break this down, because I don't want to take too much time to explain it, but there's a certain demographic within the entire populace of the Black community that perpetuates victim mentality, and it promotes it to a way to where now there's a value to it, where you get status and clout and you get glorification for being a victim. So that's a big problem.
And sorry, so the kids was talking. Is
You
that
can
the majority of Black people?
No, it's a very small minority, but it gets the loud. It gets the loud volume.
So you're saying that the victim cohort is the face of Black people?
Unfortunately, it's not supposed to be the face of Black people, but because it's so loud and because it's so agnostic, it is the face of Black people. Until you get around other folks, and then that's when people get to call you boule, bourgeoisie, or they call you all different type of slurs that they don't know the definitions to, but that's typically the stereotype.
Okay. Same question, Devin. Victim Olympics. Where do Black people sit in that conversation?
I would say I would agree with the archetype of the loud voice of gets the loud voice gets the most attention when it comes to these situations. I think the issue is we do ourselves a disservice a lot of times when we have these conversations, and it's more of like we're putting the onus on the surrounding factors more than ourselves, and it becomes like a scapegoat. And I think that it makes it seem very lazy intellectually, and effort wise when we have these conversations in the community, because it always defaults back to somebody else being the reason why we're not able to do something. But I've always been grown up where it's like make sure my bed is made up first before I start pointing the fingers at other people. And I think that's where the issue of victimization comes into place. Is like, is your bed made before you started pointing the finger? And usually, the time these circumstances we're looking at, the bed wasn't made. There's always all these issues that we are ignoring, or it becomes covered up because we want to point the finger at something else.
Okay. What you think, Mufasa, August, Big Aaron? Because Devin kind of led into another trope that we need to explore. There's so many, right? I don't want to speed through them, but they kind of related, Victim Olympics. What's your take on Black people in the Victim Olympics? Mufasa.
I'll say this. I think we had I said it's a large minority of us that that may be taking that may be victim Olympics. I think we walk on, it's a real tightrope that we walk as Black people. We when you have to tell the truth and be accurate about the historical facts, and at the same time, not be so much of a, not, like I said, not be a victim or sound like a victim. You know what I mean? It's because a lot of times people, when we start telling the truth, people look at it as victimization. That's why I don't think it's the majority of Black people who run in the victim Olympics, as they would say. I think a lot of it is just telling the truth and historical facts, and some people might not like to hear it. So I wouldn't say the majority of us do it. I say a large minority of us do it.
Oh, but you're saying people will qualify as Victim Olympics when you just telling facts and truth of the situation.
Yeah, the historical facts of what happened.
You agree, Cheeky?
Actually, yeah, I do. I think that's how they use the term victim Olympics. If you start giving any historical context or any historical relevance to a situation, and they don't think it's that important, they call it victim Olympics.
Okay, so do you think Victim Olympics is a way to scapegoat having a reality or having a full context of conversation?
It's a dismissive term that's used pejoratively for people who are conservatives, more than likely, at least 99 to 100% of the time. Um, that uses just to dismiss historical evidence or historical context or reasoning behind why things are the way they are.
What you think, August? What you think? You think that it's people that are dismissive? I'm not even dodging, right? Just trying to say, nah, you trying to add all that context. That doesn't matter. You making a choice to be here. It don't have nothing to do with the history of your people.
I think that the Victim Olympics definition is more so being using what has happened as an excuse and continues it as an excuse versus actually doing the legwork yourselves. So that's what I think that's where the term comes from. I don't think that overall most people or America for the most part is being dismissive to the black plight because there's a lot of movements and a lot of different organizations that are, I think we're really overcorrecting right now just in black America. But I think that there is a truth to there being a victim Olympics mindset in the black community. So
Okay, so you're saying
I don't know
like
if, I don't know
there's
I don't know if that answered the question.
kind of, but it's like some, right? So what do you think? Do you think like Cell said yes, and then he gave his context? He's like, it may be a minority, however, the minority is a representation, right? So what do you think if you had to make more of a steel man statement?
I would say a majority. I would
Majority
say a
of
majority.
us running the Victim Olympics.
Yeah.
Why?
Just the mindset, the way we were raised, our culture. You know,
What's what's the culture?
us coming from single mothers, you know, we sit around and we feel like you know something should be given to us, and we're waiting for someone to come and save us. You know, we're waiting for them to give us reparations, or waiting for all kinds of things that we have to go out and take, and we're not understanding that for the most part.
And you think that modus operandi comes from us from coming from primarily single mother led homes?
Yeah, because you don't when the father's there, he instills competition and he instills the idea of understanding that you got to compete. With the mom, with our mothers, they don't really understand it. They know nurturing, but they don't really understand the value of competition.
Any other opinions on August's opinion? Alicia, what's popping?
Yeah.
Check,
Hello,
check.
everyone.
Hi.
I'm just
How you
trying to
doing?
and to see. I didn't know the definition of victim Olympics, right? So I had to go look it up to see what it meant. So basically, you're saying that do we play victim? Us as a black culture, right? Like, right? That's
Yep.
what you're asking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always refer to myself, but I think not. I think we have to work so hard for what we want, right? And just trying to prove it to get what we want. It's not that we're playing victim. It's just it's harder for us to even get to any level than it is for other people and people of other cultures. I think. I mean, I don't like to say I don't think I have the victim mentality, and I've had like very prison, single parent, dad in prison, grew up in the 80s. So I don't live my life that way, but I just think it's just hard for us and we just feel like we can't get it because they don't give it to us. And it makes it seem like it's the victim mentality. But people overlook everything that we went through too. Like what is it called? I can't think of it right now.
Slavery, Jim Crow.
Yeah, slavery, but with the gas, they put the gas on them. I can't get the name out. And they put them in there.
Yes.
Used,
Yeah, don't
Oh,
you
you
don't
talking
want
about?
to you
right?
don't want to say that you
You have
don't
to
want
go
to say that word
right.
on
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
went through wasn't nothing. So
Oh,
that's just my personal opinion, how I see it.
okay. Cheeky, you said you wanted to respond to August's sentiments? Unless I heard somebody else.
No, I did, but I got to remember what it was in particular. I think he was just saying, um, it's on the single mothers as to why they're not taught, or young people, black kids are not being taught to be competitive. I just disagree with that statement. I think the overall majority of people that come from single parent homes understand competition, because their mother may have talked to them about it and they also experienced it. I think that mothers, especially black mothers, teach their children about what it means to be as a black person, and doesn't just you know doesn't ignore this idea or aspect of competition. If anything, I think they warn them and tell them you have to do more because of what you are and who you are.
Mm. Can I jump in for just a second?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, therein lies a problem because if you're being raised by a single mother and you're being taught competition, you're only competing for your mother's attention. You're not competing for any type of recognition outside of just your mother. And the biggest problem with that is that you have a multitude of examples over the past, 60 years, where a lot of people have dedicated their entire career and their strive and driven narrative about why it is that they do what they do, all for mama. And we've completely left out the other half of that whole entire argument, which is the father. And I've always said to be pro-black is to be anti-black man, and that's the biggest problem.
What what are you pulling that from? That kids that have single mothers are just doing things for the attention of their mothers and not necessarily for the success of themselves and for the to bring forth some level of pride to their family, whether it be mom or dad or whatever the case.
Well, if you're being raised by a single mother, you're not bringing pride to a family. You're not bringing pride to dad. You're bringing pride to mama. You see what I'm saying? Because there's no acknowledgement of the father being there other than the mother saying, I'm mom and dad. Because you instilling into that child that they don't have to worry about a father figure in their life.
I don't know if that's the case. I think people with single mothers, they oftentimes talk about having a male mentor or somebody, a brother or somebody they looked up to that was a male because they never forgotten or they never dismissed the importance of role models. But I think it's very natural for children to strive for the love, affection, and acceptance of any parent that's there because that's what children do. And so I'm not going to fault or say that pro-blackness means anti-black man when that's not the case. The question is, how did that person leave the picture or not be in the picture, right? Because we always take the narrative that he was kicked out and that he wasn't removed or he didn't remove himself. How can you prove one way or the other?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things is when you look back in the times where after black men came home from the war, that there was the narrative that you can't have no representation of the black male within a home. That way the mother can be able to be get benefits, food stamps, welfare, Section 8, whatever it is that they wanted to call it. The problem is that they promoted this lifestyle that we need to not have daddy in the home. So now daddy gets none of the recognition. He gets none of the acknowledgement whatsoever. It all goes to mama because there's no representation of the father in the home. So now when you advance that by 50, 60 years, now we're in a position where everybody say, I want to thank my mama first. And then when you look in the picture and see where the dad at, oh yeah, he ain't shit. I don't even know who he is. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But if that's the takeaway and he wasn't involved, why would that not be justified?
It wasn't his choice that he wasn't involved. It's just that the black woman, what she did was she resided on the government's benefits. That way she didn't have to depend on the black father.
Okay, so when did that start and when did it end?
40, 50, and 60s, and it's still going on.
So you're telling me now that if a black man is residing in a home with a black woman, she can't receive any governmental assistance?
No, what I'm saying is that when it started in the beginning, it was the promotion that the black man cannot be within the home for the mother to be able to get assistance.
Okay, and the idea or the I guess the other part of that is black men would leave the homes when they would check for those situations and then come back after the inspector left, right? They made sure they took their clothes and shoes. I also heard that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, in more ways than one, because if there was a toaster in the home, if there was a pair of work boots in the home, typically the woman wouldn't be wearing work boots at the time, especially not no size 13, 14 boots. So when they come in there, they're like, whose boots is these? Oh, well, my friend, he left them here. Well, you're not supposed to have a man in the home. You're getting all your assistance from us. So that of course, I'm not dismissing the stress and the experience that the black women went through back then, because now she can't even have male representation in the home. So when the father comes around, when the male comes around, is, oh, well, I had to do this. I had to bend over backwards, and you wasn't even here. And that's that argument has evolved over time as we get into the 21st century, where now you have a multitude of black women saying, well, I don't need a man. I never needed a man because I can get everything I need from the government.
I don't know if that trope has ever been true, because we'll also use black statistics for marriage back
Mhm.
then to represent how black men were married to black women. So in the same sense, if they were black men were married to black women and we use that stat or we tout that stat to be the role model for black women today, in
Mhm.
that same breath, we can also say they're not role models because they kicked the men out the homes due to government assistance, but the
Mhm.
men also removed items to show that they weren't there just to come back later.
Mhm. So I agree with you that black marriages back then was at a higher rate. But you know what the problem was? The problem was is that as time went on, as evolution always happens throughout history, things start changing. The paradigm starts changing. You look at the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, especially when drugs was really booming back then, leading up into the 80s and the 90s, where now you really have a heavy drug culture, and then you got pimp and 304 culture, how that was really pushing and being and breaking bounds. Now you have a whole entire system where you look at the entertainment, look at our black exploitation films, look at our movies, look at our listen to our music, read our books. There was
Right.
always a promotion of not having the male within the house.
But in those black exploitation films, it was most of the black men being the pimps, being the drug
Absolutely.
dealers, being those things as well. So
Absolutely.
why do we have the accountability only on women for a decision that men also made as well?
Absolutely. And the biggest thing is, and I agree with you 1,000%, is that when you look at those black exploitation films, you see the men in positions as the drug dealers, the women abusers, the pimps. But guess what? That's what they did back then. It's the truth is in the pudding. That's what we promote now. Listen to our music. Look at the music that we was listening to in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. Hell, even now. How YN culture is nothing but just a reproduction of pimp and hoe culture and gang culture back in the day. It's no different. It's just evolved because now they're using switches instead of using their palms.
Are we molded by our music today?
I think the music is expressing the reality of the culture. I don't think the music is doing the molding. I think it's doing more so the expressing.
I think it's doing the molding.
Yeah, the music definitely has an influence because now y'all know I was born in 89. So some of y'all that's older than me, y'all know what music was being played in the early 80s, late 70s, early 70s, right? If I'm not mistaken, didn't they have this thing called conscientious rap where it used to be like a positive thing, right? And then
Common.
somewhere in there it changed to thug rap. It changed to gangster rap. It changed to Uncle Luke and all this, that, and the other. What happened? We went from conscientious rap to booty shaking music. But that's no different because you go listen to some of those old school blues musics back in the day, and you got a woman saying about how she gonna take the black off a man's member just by doing a dance on him. So it's always been a promotion of degeneracy. The question is, when does it stop, and why have we not acknowledged the fact that degeneracy is being promoted at an all-time high? Well, I know
Mm,
why. Because it's music sales, sex
That's what
sales.
I was about to say. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they want to buy. That's the same thing with the song that's happening right now. I forgot the name of it, but that's just, everybody going crazy about it. There's a market for it. So people are buying it, they're sharing it, they're singing it. And it's why I say that it's the culture expressing it is because we are accepting of that. It's not like they don't have conscious music out right now.
Because
Just
they
don't
do.
nobody want to hear that shit.
And that's not true either. Like
I
if you
mean,
look at if you look
you
at
gonna go.
the three biggest artists, who are they and what do they speak on?
It's not conscious rap. I'm talking about like on a you have mainstream conscious rap, but nobody's like really vibing for conscious rap. Like the biggest record right now ain't a conscious record. The way that people dance and move, conscious music, there are conscious artists out there. There's a whole genre of them. It's just that it's not mainstream. There are some mainstream, but it's not super mainstream and super acceptable and devoured the way that a lot of the degenerate music that we create is.
So
You know what
How
I
do
mean?
you?
so what we consider Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole?
I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm
No,
just saying
I'm
that
not saying that either. I'm just saying
I would
it's
consider
kind of
Kendrick. I would consider
yeah.
Kendrick Lamar a conscious rapper, and I would also consider J. Cole semi-conscious as well.
But he just did the Super Bowl. That would be the most mainstream you can get.
I would
That's
give you that, but you just let you name Kendrick Lamar and that's it. And he's the representation of what conscious rap is. You don't go down to be like, oh well, what about like Mac Miller or all the other
Who?
motherfuckers that's super. Yeah, the white boy. You don't know Mac Miller.
Ain't he
You
dead?
know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did. But I'm just saying, like,
He's
I'm just using him as a
conscious.
loose example of other conscious rappers
Wait,
that
wait.
exist.
For
You got
context,
Kendrick and that.
for
Go
context,
ahead.
J Mac Miller was conscious. His big.
I'm just. It's a loose example. Don't. I wouldn't say conscious,
August
but
the
you know what I'm
example. Well,
saying.
because here's the thing, right? Because you're asking for examples, then you got the nigga that says, "I love college, I love drinking," and then he
That's not.
overdosed.
That's not Mac Miller.
Yes, it is.
I thought that was
it's
that other white boy.
Asher Roth, but it is Mac
Asher
Miller
Roth,
Oh
as
yeah.
yeah.
well. It's
Oh
both. They
yeah.
did college raps. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, look,
So
a B.O.B. Like a B.O.B. You know what I'm saying? Like B.O.B., he had his time, but B.O.B. ain't at the top. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Shit like that.
I thought but I guess my question is right, just to reconcile it. Kendrick just did the Super Bowl. If he's conscious rap, that renders your point moot.
That's
I
kind of
don't
my
think it.
point.
I don't think it
He's
does. And the reason why I say it doesn't is because of volume. Like there's but so much Kendrick or um J. Cole that you're listening to. Though you would say they are probably a tenth of all the music you listen to in totality.
Real quick,
So
Devin. If you take the top 10 drill rappers and add up their streams, I guarantee they won't have as much as Kendrick Lamar. Remember,
J. Cole
remember,
together.
just
J. Cole
remember,
and Kendrick
because just
together.
think about, because I'm just listening to the argument. I understand what you guys are saying, but then when you say that it's not mainstream, you would have to compile their streams and then put it against Kendrick, right? And now he had more views on the Super Bowl than Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
So
but it's not that Kendrick isn't popping. That's not the point. But it's
Okay.
just one Kendrick. You know what I mean? There's a plethora of other
I got you.
artists that
I got you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Hey,
And that's
I
what's
got you.
more.
But
August,
real quick,
I
let me
was
just
saying,
finish this last point. I just want August to respond to this. I'll get out the way. If he has more streams than all of them combined, who has more reach? Him or all 10 of them? How do you quantify this?
I would say him. I would say he has more reach, but we're talking about just that specific genre. But Kendrick, I'm not even gonna get into the whole Kendrick thing with my perception of how that whole Kendrick thing rolled out and why he had the Super Bowl. He was having a hell of a year, and he deserved the Super Bowl because of that beef. But outside of that, if that beef didn't happen, then it wouldn't have been all of what y'all saw.
Well, you know what they
That's
say
what I
about
was-
you know what they say about
That's
if
what I
though.
think.
They say, but you know what they say about if
I know you about to say your uncle, all that
if your
shit.
aunt had
nah,
a dick, she'd be
was
your
a
uncle.
fifth.
You're right.
Whoa.
I'm just that's mine, so I had to make my own up. Go ahead.
Damn, what the hell?
I'm just saying, if your aunt had a dick, she'd be your uncle. That's all.
God,
I don't think we would call J. Cole the big three, J. Cole, Drake, or daggone Kendrick Lamar, gangster rappers or these drill rappers.
Mm-mm.
No,
You have to add them in there too. Think about how much
Mufasa.
streams those guys get.
But Mufasa, I want y'all to think about the underlying tone of what's a great representation of the culture. What's the
That
most
would be Kendrick
highlighted?
Lam-
What's the most
Kendrick Lamar.
highlighted? Yeah, what's the most highlighted moment and song of the Super Bowl?
It was an entire album, but it was a diss.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the great representation of us is dissing each other. That's a great representation of us.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with
Does it not?
No.
I
It
can
has everything to do with two large names,
Okay.
especially ones that everyone holds or respects or is high fans of.
Absolutely.
Actually having a verbal jousting match. Right.
Gotcha.
The same thing happened with Jay-Z and Nas. Right.
So
That doesn't mean
let's
that
put it
doesn't
on
mean
Super.
you can't. So the thing is, we can't sit here and say the person that won a Pulitzer Prize and
Mm-hmm.
also 29,000 Grammys the only highlight of his career or the biggest highlight of his career is the beef with Drake when that's not true.
Absolutely.
There's nothing to
But
substantiate that.
but you know what? This is the funny part, right? And that whole entire Super Bowl, you know what everybody was waiting on? They was waiting on one specific line and a very specific song. Hey Drake, I hear you like I'm young. That's all they wanted to hear. They didn't care about the rest of the album. They just wanted to see Kendrick. Hold on. They just wanted to see Kendrick diss Drake on a world stage, which was the Super Bowl. But yes, when it comes down to the black community or the small representation of the black community when it comes to culture as far as our music, yeah, accuse a man of liking somebody else on a young level. That's great. But we talk about victim Olympics though.
Yeah, those two don't correlate. Because in that same Super Bowl performance, did he not have Samuel Jackson representing Uncle Sam? And what were those other songs about?
Absolutely, yeah. Have a black man who loves to swear wearing an Uncle Sam outfit, acting a whole entire fool on the TV. That's great. I love it. So when people outside of our culture, like the multitude of people that was there at the Super Bowl, who don't even know what's going on, who don't even understand what the song is about, which the majority of the stadium was quiet, and the majority of the world didn't even know what was going on. Only those that's within the culture or understand the game of hip hop or understood that beef really was looking forward to what was going on in that song. But that's a great representation of our culture, though.
Okay, so if you go ahead, Ham. What are you about to say?
Well, no, just interesting contextually for Kendrick Lamar. That's not true for Kendrick, right? Do you guys know the Lincoln Theater? So Kendrick had concerts there, right? Which is around all the memorial. It's 99% white people in there. And he has the orchestrated band and such. He sold 2 million albums. It's not like us on GNX. I can't remember.
Yes, I believe so. Like not like wow. That's on GNX, I believe.
Well, we need to confirm that, right? Because
I'm about to look it up.
Here's all I'm saying. Just confirm. It is.
I'm looking it up now.
Let me just look it up real quick. Because here's what I'm looking at. So if he sold 2 million albums, well, I just need to know if his GNX is on. Not like
no, Not Like Us was deliberately excluded from the album GNX. Kendrick Lamar's camp stated the track was left off to maintain artistic integrity, and as a specific and was specifically made
we don't.
for the rap battle.
I don't care about that part. I'm just simply saying that it's not on the album. The album sold 2 million copies. You see? So we know it can't just be about the song. I think that would substantiate that point that people are listening to Kendrick outside of that with 2 million album sales, and that song is excluded from the album.
No, so you wouldn't think that song gives birth to, or not birth, but that song gives weight or at least expectation that the album is going to be good.
Good, but I thought it was said that people were listening for that song, and he had 2 million sales, excluding that song. Is the point?
No, I said people was listening to the Super Bowl because they wanted to hear that song and that specific line in that song. I didn't say that's why the album sold.
Okay, but he did a host of GNX songs, and then his album proceeded to sell 2 million records.
Absolutely, GNX album was good. But you know what the problem with the GNX album was? No one cared because when it came down to the Super Bowl, we just want to hear if he gonna say, "Hey Drake, I heard you like I'm young." That's all they cared about.
Because
so that's a great representation. Yeah, right? It's a hit record. Dissing another man and accusing him of liking young girls.
Right, but if you reduce that down to that and not all the musical elements that made it a hit record, then of course you can say that. If it's catchy and there's something to it, of course it's going to be a hit, which is the same reason why other hip hop songs are a hit. It's because there is a artistic genius or artistic formula with the hook, with the lyrics, with all of those things that make it what it is. And that's the right reason why most of the people who were tuned into the Drake battle was not like, oh, I wonder if he's going to do it at the Super Bowl. It's the biggest song in the country right now. Why wouldn't he do it?
Absolutely.
Hey, can I get in, fellas? Right, I just want to say, because Chicky said a perfect point right there. I think that we look at our culture as in a negative aspect, because at the end of the day, our artistry is our culture. We do things that others can't do. You think it's just rap? No. Ain't nobody mentioning Chris Brown. Chris Brown has been on a run like no other for the last 15 years. My thing is, we're not mentioning our producers, Timbaland, Pharrell. We're not mentioning so many of our music artistry. That's our culture. Beyonce, that's our culture. Like I said, R&B, that's our culture. I think it's musically as a whole. Yeah, we got the gangster rap, but we can do things that others cannot do. And so when we talk about what's culturally, I think we got to say music as a whole. We just can't zero in on rap because we do everything better than everybody when it comes to music.
So I would agree with you. We do everything better than everybody. You know what the problem is? We sell everything that we do to everybody else.
Maybe a different issue, but you're right.
How no, he's not.
A
How do we
different
sell?
issue, though.
How is it that we sell anything to anybody and people just don't take or copy? There is no claim on music, which is why you can sample, or if you can't, or whatever claim it has, it's literally paperwork. But you can make similar art styles and not be black. That's what they're doing with K-pop. So it's not like black people was like, oh, let's go to Korea and sell our artistry. No, Korean pop artists heard what black people were doing, thought it was good, and rebranded it for an audience for them. Nobody sold that.
I want to do.
But who's the?
Just real quick, Sal. I just want to do some final thoughts on the music thing because there's a few other categories that I think are also equally as interesting. So go ahead. If you want to say your last piece, by all means.
No, I was just about to say when it comes down to a racial aspect, the majority of the record labels is owned by black people or non-black people.
Non-black people.
I rest my case.
Yeah, they control distribution. So if they don't want it to go out, it's not going to go out.
Yeah, and I rest my case.
Well,
okay. we sell the best of our craft to those that don't look like us.
Well,
that's what the expert is.
I understand that, but listen, boil it down what you just said, Mufasa. You said no one does it better than us, correct? When it comes to this music thing, artistically, craftfully, we are the best. Ain't nobody putting out bars like us. Ain't nobody laying down on tracks like us. Ain't nobody spitting like that. Cool, great. So when we go look at the record labels, why is it that y'all running to the record label that's owned by the small hat people and y'all not running over to the record label that's owned by the brother that look like us?
Does that change the culture though as a wholesale?
Oh, in more ways than when it did. You know why? Because Diddy was a great representation of that. And who did Diddy pay? Nobody.
Wait, so how if what you're saying, if you just said why not go to the black exec and the black exec is doing the same thing as the white exec and he has less money or he's not offering as much, why would you accept the deal anyway?
Got you. So what's the definition of a sellout?
I don't know.
Selling out your own culture, right? To get something better than what everybody else got, right?
No, I don't think so.
So what's the definition of a sellout?
I think that would be a level of betrayal into that motive.
Is it betrayal to go against your own culture?
Is it a betrayal to go against your own culture? Depending on what it is, depending on what it is you're going against.
So if I go to someone outside of my culture to get benefit and money to talk and behave in degenerative ways within my cultures, and I get paid for it outside of my culture, am I selling my culture out?
No, I don't think you're selling your culture out.
Just remember you said that.
Callie Bev with the $5 says, for the goal, ellipsis. Thank you, Callie. And what looks to be a bomb conversation. The Most High Child, what up, Op? Received the membership from Riri. Appreciate you. The gifted one. This might be risky membership, man. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Sel said the word degeneracy a few times. What you guys take on black fatigue?
Well, it depends on the original meaning or the one that white people co-opted.
The most popular version of black fatigue as it's known today.
Gotcha. The white version.
I mean, do you want to go ahead and define it, Cheeky, so we can just all talk on the same page?
It's basically what white people have used now to say that black people's behavior is making them tired, or they're tired of seeing quote unquote black people's behavior.
Do we agree on that definition?
Absolutely. I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think it's just ultimately behavior
God
that
damn it! I'm finna
ultimately
hit bingo, Hamp.
the I think it's ultimately the idea is whether you agree with it or disagree with it, I'm not giving an actual statement towards it. So if you make a claim based off this, then you're ignorant. Is that it's just ultimately the idea that we people are acting in a certain way that's disturbing the natural decorum of the public. So if people are just doing something, you're ultimately just causing chaos, racket. Then I think that's where the term black fatigue is used.
Do you
It's a simpler way to say it's just nigga shit. That's all it is.
well so okay. So used understood, Devin. Do you think that it's being used and then substantiated?
I think usually when you see it, you actually see a video of it actually happening. Like it's not like we're just like people are just saying it out of nowhere. It's usually you see it, you like somebody says the term, and then you see somebody raising hell, like in a restaurant, just throwing everything off the counter, or or just using a public environment, just causing chaos in an environment. So like whether if you don't like if you don't think that's like meets the criteria of the definition, then that's on you. But I think that's where it's used, and I think that's how it's defined in the masses.
Okay. So let me just to be clear, and so you can go. When white people are in a restaurant acting a fool, is that black fatigue? Devin?
I mean, I guess because like we're black fatigue is like identifying it with a color. Like it's still, I would still consider it ignorant if they're acting that same way. Yes, I would consider it ignorant. Like the adding black to it makes it exclusively for the black culture because because they're saying they see it specifically on that side. But if a white person acts that same way, then I would consider them ignorant as well.
That wasn't a question.
I'm not
Mm.
but the question frames it as in what if they act the same way that they get a pass? No, they don't get a pass for acting stupid.
He didn't say that either.
Well, no, I'm
No.
clarifying so that my words can't be twisted into believing that they
Well,
don't act that way or don't have the capability of acting that way.
you're twisting the question and you're adding some type of perspective that is unnecessary. So I'm just asking you. You said they substantiated with a video, and then it's called black fatigue. So I'm asking that behavior, regardless of color, is it black fatigue?
No, because I think the word within itself is black, so it's black. So I mean, maybe you could call it white fatigue. I think there's a such thing as white fatigue. If white
Okay.
people are doing some ignorant stuff that we in our like we uh are doing something that we can
It's
consider
called
like white
Karen.
culture.
A Karen. That's what you mean.
Yeah, a
Mm.
Karen would be white fatigue.
No. So here's a reason why that doesn't work. Because fatigue denotes something, right? You get fatigued over time. Fatigue takes time. It's not an instant. You see. So black fatigue, I thought, was because this behavior was being exuded perpetually.
Regularly.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with it, but still, Karen's got the name Karen because it's a common behavior displayed by middle-aged white women over time.
No, that's why I said denotation. You see, that's what I'm saying. Denote fatigue. The word fatigue, the actual meaning. We understand that these are colloquial terms, you know. But I'm just saying, are you saying that black fatigue is equivalent to Karen?
Yeah,
No,
I would say yeah.
no, I would disagree.
Okay.
Black fatigue is the rejection of logic and basic human decency and replacing it with degeneracy and debauchery and making claim that if it isn't accepted, you're either a racist or a coon. That's literally what black fatigue is. So I'll give you a prime example. I can't remember which hockey team that was that won, but y'all remember they tore up the town, right? They went
Mm-hmm.
through, set fire trucks on fire, flipped over police cars and all that and the other. That was just considered a celebration, right? But have y'all recently seen the uptick in all these so-called team takeovers? Y'all seen that?
Mm-hmm.
How they running all throughout the city streets, stomping on windows, all acting all crazy and all this, that, and the other. So I'm gonna ask y'all a simple question. if you living in a neighborhood where there's a teen takeover almost every weekend, and now you got to be on alert every weekend because you got to make sure that these peoples is not running up in your house and causing crazy shit, stabbing your car, your tires out, breaking your windows. Would you move out that hood or would you stay in that hood?
If I had the means to move and I couldn't do anything about that, then I would probably move just in a vacuum.
That's black fatigue. Black fatigue is I'm sick of these niggas and I'm sick of paying for my shit and restoring my shit back and fixing my shit. I'm tired of dealing with these niggas, so I'm gonna get out the hood. That's black fatigue. Black fatigue is when somebody get to acting like a fool, get to acting like a nigga. You just like, man, really? Do we really got to be like this all the damn time? That's black fatigue. Black fatigue is the acceptance of degeneracy and the lack of logic and basic human decency. That's it.
So I take issue with the term black fatigue then, if that's the case, because it's not black behavior. If you're sick and tired of black people, then go take a nap. But if you're tired of degeneracy, then call it degeneracy fatigue. To say that you're tired of vandalism is you being black, having black fatigue, then you're essentially saying to be a vandal or to vandalize something is to be black exclusively.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only reason that they say it's black fatigue is because they don't want to get deemed a racist. Like I said in the definition, they don't want to get deemed a racist by saying that they just sick and tired of niggas.
Right.
Yeah, but
they're
that's
sick and tired of black people.
I'm sorry,
I
there's
mean,
two
black
people
fatigue,
talking at once.
But right, you're right. They're sick and tired of black people, right? They're just making it a PG statement. But black fatigue is tired of black.
You lost me on that last part. You said black fatigue is tired of black?
Yeah, you're tired of black people, right? Or like you said, they don't want to sound racist, so they don't want to say tired of niggas. Okay. But they paraphrase and say they're tired of black people when they say black fatigue. You're just taking the words and flipping them in their position in the phrase.
Well,
It's still just as racist. It's just PG, not rated R. That's all.
Absolutely.
I just have a question. Well, aren't all niggas black?
Well,
so niggas is white too? That's what you're saying?
Colloquially, no, but if what separates black people from niggas is the idea that niggas engage in debauchery and degeneracy.
That's my point. All niggas is black, but all blacks ain't niggas. So when you say black fatigue, you still can cover the bait. If it don't apply, let it fly, because they got some blacks who happen to be niggas that the country is talking about having a fatigue of.
That's bullshit.
That's
bullshit, Marine.
No, what I'm doing is I'm just giving you the fact of where what is happening. I'm not making taking a stance on either side of it. That's all I'm trying to say.
The fact is bullshit.
What's bullshit about it? Go ahead, talk to me.
Because when you say black fatigue, right, you're stating a message that allows for reckless speculation, and you're using the blanket moniker to represent. You're allowing the worst to represent the most.
Black people, yeah, all of us is what you're saying,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that's only because it was a white woman that said it, and she didn't want to say I'm sick
nigga
of
fatigue.
But here's the problem though. Here's the problem though.
And you got black people that have black fatigue that are coming out and saying that they have black fatigue.
But hold on,
And
she didn't say any.
People,
she didn't say any. She didn't say anything different than what a majority of niggas have been saying for forever. A majority of black people have been saying for forever. It's just that it came out of her mouth instead of coming out a color person's mouth. Because if I'm not mistaken, if I hear someone say, "Oh, I have black fatigue," and people get upset about it, I've been hearing women say niggas ain't shit for forever, and I didn't hear nobody get upset about it.
Well, niggas ain't shit, but black men are awesome.
So what's the problem?
Black
like,
men. I'm creating a delineation between a
niggas
low-life
and black
individual and an actual black man.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
have we not been hearing for years that black men ain't shit?
Now that's bullshit. That's dog shit. Yeah,
disingenuous, Sale.
That's
majorly disingenuous. Sale, my thing is, so black fatigue as a point is just a bullshit term.
Exactly.
Let's be honest with you. It's an online term. Let's be honest. See, I see what you try to do there. You tried to take it from online to try to make it real life. Ain't been no town hall meetings. Nobody said nothing about no black fatigue. Ain't nobody in the hood ever said nothing about black fatigue. Now all of a sudden, oh, we get black fatigue, move out the hood. No, that's just elevating your class. You make more money, you move out the hood. It ain't most of the time. It ain't got nothing to do with black fatigue because you can be tired as hell and broke and can't move nowhere.
Got you. But here's the
this is the online thing, Sale. This is an online thing, and all they gotta do is turn off their algorithm. They're fatigued of their algorithm because you don't gotta look at us. Half of you are not around us. You don't be around us, so white people can't get black fatigue.
I disagree.
Black people don't say they have black fatigue.
Black people say I'm sick of you low life.
They say I'm sick of you low life nigga.
I'm telling you, they got black people out there that say that shit.
Coons exist. I agree.
The people that say that shit are black conservatives. That's exactly the people that say it.
That's not true.
It's the suspect. It's the usual.
That's not true.
It's the usual suspects.
That's
black liberals. Black liberals.
I know. Name them. Give me a name because I can tell you the black conservatives that say it for sure.
Tons. All of the black people who moved out the hood and moved into the suburbs.
Okay, that's not a name.
It don't have to be a name. I just gave you a demographic of people.
And you're speaking for an entire demographic like a conservative would do, right?
No,
Brandon Tatum, the Hodge twins, all of these black conservative people, they use the word black fatigue and they try to use it to appeal to a white audience. Very similar to what you just
said. Wait a minute.
Very similar. Very similar.
Wait.
It's the same situation.
Remember that statement, that question that I asked you earlier. Just because I move out the hood, does that make me different? You said no. I said, remember, you didn't
say anything about moving out the hood. You said
I used it as an analogy.
No, you didn't. You used record label and exporting music or doing music business as an analogy.
Right, being a sellout, right?
Yes, a level of betrayal.
So if I move out the hood and I go into the suburbs, am I betraying the hood?
No, that's not. That action in and of itself isn't betraying the hood.
Really?
But your ideology, I would explain it because you seem
go ahead, take your time.
The thing that is a betrayal, especially when it comes to black people or black conservatives, is this constant shitting and constant justification of white things that negatively impact our image. It's the same reason why Mufasa said what you just tried to do doesn't make any sense, because you're trying to say just because niggas say it or because black people say it, what's wrong with a white person saying it, as if there is no historical or there is no relevance to white people, white women and men saying something against black people and it having a super negative effect that doesn't have the same for black people.
Hey, Hamp, you remember that Victim Olympics question that you asked earlier?
Yes, sir.
This is what Victim Olympics looks like, right?
So
this is it's a prime representation of Victim Olympics. Because my thing is, if you're so upset about white people saying things about black people have been saying shit about black people since forever. That's nothing new. Go back and look at some of the interviews.
Bingo.
I want Tiki to clarify.
I can't believe it.
You can't believe what? So have black people not been speaking? Have black people have not been speaking ill of black people since forever?
So are you saying why white people? Basically, why focus on white people?
What I'm saying is that just because I, as a black man, move out the hood and I move into the suburb because I don't want to raise my son or my daughter in a neighborhood which there's niggas running around doing nigga shit, and I don't want my children to be around that. Just because my behavior moving outside the hood has changed, what makes me a conservative? Just because I say shit that that y'all would say in the hood, just because I say it in front of white people, what's the problem?
Who said any of that? I didn't say none of that at all.
No, we're talking about behavior. We're talking about a behavior.
You
just said you say shit in front of white people. Is that not what you said?
No, that is not what I just said.
What did you say?
What I said was people that say things and will defend what white people say in return, as if the things that white people say, there isn't other context to it and why it matters to us, right?
Yeah.
For example, would you get upset if a white person called you a nigga?
I wouldn't get upset, but I'll probably be in jail.
Knew you wouldn't.
No,
you want to know why I knew you wouldn't?
Hold on, wait. Let me finish my sentence.
Go ahead.
I said I wouldn't get upset, but I'd probably be in jail.
As conservatives, why we got to be like this, man? Why we got to be like this as conservatives? Why can't we?
Hold on, real quick.
because
so Aaron been trying to ask a clarifying question
Go
for
ahead.
a little bit.
Go ahead.
Cheeky, when you
I
say
agree
what
with
you
that
said,
statement,
are you
sir.
saying that conservative people say they have black fatigue, or are you saying that black people that say they have black fatigue happen to be conservative?
Yes.
Tend to be conservative. Yes.
The second one?
Yes, the second one.
Oh,
I want to step in real quick because one of the things is what happens in a lot of these conversations is nobody said anything declarative. I think ultimately we're trying to decipher and define what people say black fatigue is, because ultimately I don't believe black fatigue is that. I was just going off based off what the definition is. I understand black fatigue is just people within the black community being tired of racism, microaggressions, economic issues that we face because of racism or systematic racism, etc. I understand that. We're just going what ultimately what's happening is, and it happens a lot, is because we try to define things or have an honest conversation about what is being put in front of us. Then all of a sudden we happen to agree with whatever is being said. I think that's foolish. It's ignorant, and it's lacking integrity in the conversation.
Yeah, but black fatigue is a microaggression because a white person can't say nigga, because if they do say nigga, there's a consequence behind it.
Well,
but
Devin,
they can say degenerate.
Well, real quick, right? We can't speed. So here's the one issue, Devin. I catch your drift, but remember I said, hey, do we agree? Yeah, do we agree with that definition? And then once we say yes, we can't go back and then say black fatigue is actually when black people are tired.
But the issue is that's why you guys had an issue with being trying to clarify things, because I ultimately didn't agree with the foundation that was being laid, because that's why I was trying to be very clear in how I felt about what is being said, because I knew this was coming, was that we were going to say some outlandish definition or go with some idea, and then we were just going to run with it.
No, that's not true, Devin, though, right? So Cell made a declarative statement. Cell said that's nigga shit, right? Cell made a declarative statement, And so the question to you is, when you hear black fatigue used colloquially, do you think they're justified in how they use it? You said they're able to substantiate it by showing videos. I simply asked, do those videos have to be black people, or can it be people being degenerate and then it's then labeled black fatigue?
Oh yeah, and then I clarified. I was like, I believe white people can show the same type of actions, and I'll consider white fatigue, and that's why we brought in Karen.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You were able. You didn't get labeled nothing. You just having a conversation. Right. Now here's the thing, right, Devin? Do you think? Now here's the question: black people are the face of degeneracy. There's a second part of this. Do you think that black people are the face of degeneracy?
No.
Okay. Then there's no part two.
And we all agree. We all agree that black people are not the face of degeneracy.
Do
right?
we all do?
When it comes to the black community, niggas are the representation of degeneracy, and unfortunately, the minority of the black community, which is niggas, get the most attention.
Okay, so here's the question. See, and that's what I'm saying. Instead of we don't separate, because you can't separate niggas from black people, because most people can't tell the difference because of how they look. Right. So if we include niggas, are we the face of degeneracy?
No, we're not falling for that. We're not falling for that. No, we're not doing it.
Niggadom is a behavior. It's not a look.
Explain to me what's his name? The dude that looks just like George Floyd. What's the basketball player? I forgot his name.
Steve.
Yes, him.
Steven, he does the podcast Up in Smoke or something.
Steven Jackson.
Oh, Stephen Jackson.
I think they related.
They not related. He just said that.
He said that's his man.
But the point is, he looks just like George Floyd. How many people can tell the difference between that's peering into the culture besides us?
Yeah, people who got blinders on, who can't see the difference between him and George Floyd. But
and how many people do you think that is when it comes to people outside of being black, viewing black people?
Yeah, that's your victim Olympics jumping out again. I don't care what people outside of our culture, how they look at us, because what I look at is that us inside the culture, we make us look bad by promoting the worst of us in the loudest ways.
Ooh,
How do we
I like
promote?
how you did that.
Hold on.
How do we promote the worst of? Go ahead, Big
But see,
Mufasa.
Sale, when you say that, then I'm asking you, when we talk about the black fatigue, then
Yeah.
why in the world are y'all adding y'all 2 cents in to how you think about Negroes or anything?
Oh, easy.
Black fatigue is something that them white folks said. So we need, my thing is, as black conservatives, we need to shut the hell up and let them hang themselves. We ain't got to say how we feel about black folks at all.
So now we as black conservatives, our language, our speech, and our rhetoric must be stifled because we can't tell the absolute truth, and we just have to let them tell the half truth. I say
No.
BS.
My thing is, I say don't use their term. We shouldn't be going around using black fatigue. That's something that they came up with. We attaching ourselves to their conversation. We're not being original. It seems like we're following behind the white man because the white man came up with black fatigue. Now us as conservatives got to jump on there and say, "Oh yeah, niggas is acting bad." It's like, hold on, bro.
But here's the problem.
Black conservatives.
I'll be back, Hamp.
Okay.
Mufasa, here's the problem with what you're saying. You got to understand that for years, as a black man who was a conservative, it was things that you couldn't say on the internet. You was getting kicked off. Why do you think the majority? I'm sorry, say it again.
Why were you getting kicked off?
Oh, because people was false flagging, reporting because they got their feelings hurt and they was offended because we said that niggas ain't shit.
And you didn't make any distinction between niggas and just black people, did you?
Didn't have to make a distinction between niggas and black people because here's the problem. Because I don't see all black people as niggas. I see niggas as niggas, and I see black people. Again, that's your victim Olympics jumping out.
It's not Olympics jumping.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Do you put black people and niggas synonymously on the same level?
I think niggas
and that's the problem.
Black.
But that's the problem.
We're all black.
So you acknowledge that there's an existence of niggas, but you yourself can't even tell the difference between black people and niggas, and that's not a problem,
right? No, because the way that you all use niggas is very similar to how white people use niggas with the ER, right? I'm not going to ever do that, right? What I will say is there is a subset of criminals in our population of black people, and those people are called criminals, not niggas, not niggers, criminals. So how about you deal with that? Just call them black criminals.
Okay,
because the way you use niggas is very pejorative and it's too aligned with white people. Just like Mufasa was saying, why do we have to use black fatigue? The reason why is because it's popular and it brings in the audience you want.
So let me ask you a simple question. I hope you can give me an answer. Could you give me an example of what you think nigga shit is?
From your perspective?
No, from your own perspective. What is your opinion on what do you think your perspective is on nigga shit? What is nigga shit look like?
I have no idea. It could be somebody smoking. It could be somebody drinking. It could be somebody not doing anything. It could be somebody has grills. It could be it could be anything we imagine it to be. But my thing is this: after spending time around people, I can't claim what quote unquote nigga shit is anymore because the people you think are nigga shit or do nigga shit don't do the shit you think they actually do.
Yeah, but here's the problem though. I asked for your personal perspective. You said we.
Yeah, I don't have a personal perspective.
So you can't tell the difference between black people and niggas.
No, I think we're all black.
So you sound more racist than me. You sound like the white people that used to wear the hoods that said all these niggas look the same. You sound more racist than me.
No, I don't sound more racist than you because all I'm saying is just because somebody looks a certain way or dresses a certain way or participate in hip hop or culture, those are the things or indicators that we say is nigga shit. And the people that are involved with those things aren't quote unquote niggas. That's my point.
But I asked you a simple question. Give me an example of what nigga shit is. Here, I'll give you my example.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah. I'll give you my example of what some nigga shit is, right? To me, nigga shit is, it doesn't have to be pejoratively about black people, but I'm going to use the perspective of what I've seen from black people that behave as niggas. You know you got a drug test coming up. Why the hell is you smoking? You know you got to be to work at 5. Why is you up at 2 o'clock in the morning? You know that your ass supposed to be back at work at this time. Why is your ass coming back to work late?
So my question
Hold on,
is
wait,
this.
time out. Hold on, wait, time out. I'm not done yet. You know that you got a girl. Why you cheating on your girl? You got 5 baby mamas. You can't pay no bills, and you dare go buy some goddamn Jordans. To me, that's nigga shit. Nigga shit is sidestepping logic and responsibility and accountability just to behave as a nigga. That's nigga
So
shit.
that goes back to the question that Hamp asked earlier to Devin. When other people outside of the race do it, are you going to call that nigga shit as well?
Here's the problem. Why?
Answer that. Just answer that.
I'm answering the
yes.
question.
Please, can you give a yes and then expound? A yes or no and then expound.
Ask the question again.
In the same way Hamp asked Devin, when white people or people outside of the black community do the same things you just named, are you going to call them niggas and nigga shit too? Yes or no, and then expound, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
you said expound. So you know why? Because guess what? The same way I see y'all niggas behaving is the same way that y'all behave in front of white people, and y'all got paid for it. So don't be mad at me.
So if you just told us that black people are not the face of degeneracy, and you can use a term that is specific to black people like niggas to explain people outside of the race of quote unquote niggas, then that means black people are the face because you're willing to use it on a base level for anybody that isn't black, including black people too.
No, that just means that you're trying to transmogrify my statement and you're trying to use it in a way that fits your narrative. That's not exactly what I said.
Okay, maybe
what I said.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Did that make sense?
Yeah. It makes sense. Cell just disagrees with your understanding and interpretation of his statement, but it makes sense. So where are we?
Well, as long as it makes sense,
it's his statement.
Yeah, but his statement lacks logic. That's the problem.
People get to interpret your statements. You know.
How does my statement lack logic when I say
I will break it down again.
When I say that niggas or black people who are specifically behaving as if they were niggas or even posing as if they were niggas, which is even worse, those are niggas to me. You ask for my perspective on is that the same view that I have of white people outside the culture? I don't care about white people that's outside of the black culture because I care about the black community. The problem is the black community. Well, hold on, I'm not done yet.
That's not what I asked you though.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
What I asked you was, when they do the exact same thing, would you say what they're doing is nigga shit, and would you call them niggas? You said
yes.
So if that is the case, if the word strictly niggas, what does niggas come from? What does that word imply?
The word implies nothing. It's just a behavior.
So nigga in and of itself has no implication at all.
Not to me, no, it's a behavior.
Not to you. So here's where that outside perspective thing matters. Because if nigga has no implication to anything that you say or do, or not, if it's not a descriptor and you're saying it's an action, you tell me when you use niggas, everybody sees it the same way. So you shouldn't be mad at white people using the N-word either. You shouldn't go to jail for that either. It's not a word. It's not a descriptor. It has no real context to it.
No, because the thing is that he's using it in a way that he's trying to be racist towards me. There's a difference.
But it has no implications.
Yeah, it has
based off of what you just told me.
Yeah, but again, you're looking for me to treat the white man a certain type of way just because I look at the black community a certain type of way. That's bullshit. And again,
no, I'm not. I'm looking for some logical consistency.
No. Yes, you are. Yeah, the logical consistency is that you want me to treat white people worse than you want me to treat white people worse than how it is I tell the truth about black people or how I tell the truth about the black community. Or even more so, even more so when it comes to me telling the truth about nigga shit. Why should I hide the truth about niggas and nigga behavior in front of the world when y'all do it on a scale every day and get paid for it? Y'all sell y'all records for it. Y'all create movies about it. Y'all write literature about it. Y'all do speeches about it. Y'all have podcasts about it. Y'all have done 11-hour streams about it. Y'all have done video uploads about it. Y'all have done shorts about it. You have done community tag posts about it. Hell, you have even came up with your own jingle and tunes about nigga behavior. Yet when I say niggas ain't shit and this is why, I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong for saying niggas ain't
so
shit
what's
and
the
this
problem?
Is why. You're wrong because you start defending white people or people outside of that for the exact same thing. You can't say that because that's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you did.
Let him respond real quick, sir.
Go ahead.
That's exactly what he did and what he's doing. That's the same reason why Mufasa told him, I can't allow you to do that, because what they do is run cover for people that don't look like us, have no real association with us, and will make blanketed statements targeting us. And guess who's there to co-sign it? People like Cellulite, people like Brandon Tatum, people like the black conservative male. They will sit there and allow that to happen in front of them and not think to themselves, well, this person that's speaking this, they don't have any indication of what a quote unquote nigga is, although it has no context to him. They don't have any indication of what a nigga is, what a black person is. Anytime they see somebody black, they go, that's what's wrong with them. And that's why and then they'll say the 1350 rule, which is they're only 13% of the population and 50% of the violent crimes. They will start running down an entirety of racial epithets and things that they believe. And guess who's there to co-sign it? And just be like, well, is he lying?
Got you. So when it comes to overlooking the nigga shit that goes on within the black community, I'm not dismissive of the nigga shit that goes on in the black community, because I don't think that is something that's common. I acknowledge what's going on in the black community, that it being a wrong thing when it comes down to self-accountability, self-reliability, and not dependent upon the government. But the biggest problem is within the black community, you have a bunch of niggas that's getting a loud speakerphone and the air horn. They're getting the bam, 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 bam. They're the ones that's getting celebrated the most just because they behave in the worst way, and ain't nobody gonna stop me from doing what it is that I want to do. Because why? I'm a nigga. I'm a grown ass man, or I'm a bad bitch. So at the end of the day, please, by all means, tell me when is it that I, as a black conservative, cannot tell the truth about niggas in the black community because you want me to focus on how the white man have treated us so wrong, so bad? Please let your victim Olympic shine.
Okay. Hamp, did you hear what I said?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay. Did I say that he couldn't make any statements about that? Did I say that was my qualm with that?
No. I think, yeah, Cell's hearing you, and he just want to make sure that he's also just clear in his statements. It's like you guys are making statements that don't align, but you guys are just clarifying you guys' opinion and stances. Right? Because you're saying this is the black conservative archetype. This is what they're willing to do and how they're willing to talk. Right? And Cell's saying, listen, I don't give a damn what you align me with. He's saying, I love these people enough to admonish them because the niggas are the representatives of the black community. But I think your disagreement.
But he said they weren't, though.
Yeah, he's saying that he said, sorry, his words were the niggas, because he's making niggas the cohort of black people, and he's saying the niggas have the loudspeaker. That's what he said. So I would assume that means they have the loudest voice and essentially are the face of us. Now, what threw me for what I need to be reconciled is, but black people aren't the face of degeneracy.
That's exactly why I'm confused. How can he say those things?
Yes, sir.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that black people are the face of debauchery. I'm saying within the black community, niggas are the one that's promoted the most, and they're the ones with the debaucherous behavior, and that's the face of the black community, niggas and their behavior.
Okay, so go ahead. You can ask. Cheeky and Cell, give me 1 second.
Yeah,
right. Okay, now I need y'all to kind of remember where y'all at, and y'all are professionals, so you will. August, Mufasa, Devin, anything from what you've heard, or you can also just state what you want to state, right, along the lines of this conversation. Go ahead.
I was just saying I was going to qualify for him what he was trying to explain. When you asked the question about the face of debauchery or degeneracy,
yes, sir.
Overall, there's a population, because each demographic has degenerates in their demographic. White people got some of the most degenerate and do the most degenerate shit in their demographic, and I would argue that they might be the face of degeneracy. However, it doesn't alleviate the point that the black community also has degenerate behavior, and our representation of our community is usually the niggas that exhibit that degenerate behavior, but still they don't represent all of degeneracy or the face of degeneracy in America. Both things can exist at the same time.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say.
That's what I'm asking, though.
That's what I heard him. That's what I'm listening to, and that's what I think that Cell is trying to say.
I understand.
But even with him saying that, his rhetoric doesn't match because he's willing to call non-black people niggas and doing niggas shit, which then goes back to the point of black people being the face of degeneracy because you're using a word that has implications that only involve black people.
Remember real quick, right? Because Cheek wasn't actually supposed to jump in, so I apologize.
It's all good.
I was thinking about what August was saying. He gave me a both answer. I despise shit like both, some, a lot. You know? So, August, you don't think black people are the face of degeneracy, right?
No, I think white people are the face of degeneracy.
Okay. And because remember, the premise of this part of the conversation was the black fatigue. Do you think, let me ask you just a clarifying question. Do you think white people are justified in using black fatigue when they see a thing? Like the teen takeovers as an example?
Yeah, I think they're justified.
Okay, so you think that those white people have the right and they've been around enough black people in these instances to be tired of it?
I don't think that we as a culture or people have any right to talk or have any control over what white people are tired of. I don't even know why we even fucking interested in it, because I think it's a waste of time to even think about it, because I don't really think about a lot of white people usually.
No, 100%. But you know, in the context of the conversation, that's
they have the right. Yeah, just the same way we have the right to have.
Oh no! I'm not asking like, do they have the right? Like, people can say what they want, right? So you can't stop anybody. I'm saying that you think that there are significant amount of white people exposed to this behavior to then be fatigued.
Yes.
Okay. Because what interests me is, like, even when I was having a conversation, right, August, about Italians, right, and I'm from Connecticut, and in the East Coast we have a lot of Italians, and what I realize is people like, oh, just black, you don't know no Italians. I can tell by how you talking, you don't know no Italians, right? It's almost like I just think people are watching a thing and then saying it, right, and repeating it. And what jumps out to me is the dude from Buffalo. Remember the Buffalo shooter? Had to drive 3 hours to shoot niggas. And I'm just trying to figure out what he's so tired of, you know? But I guess you can watch a thing and be desensitized or, you know, galvanized by it. So I can give that a level of credence. But it just interests me, like, you know, in that way. Mufasa, you got anything?
That's what I mean.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I just wanted to talk all the way through it. Yeah. Mufasa, you had anything before I let the...
I just want to say this, that us as black conservatives, we got to understand that we're helping. We're helping the daggone for people to look at black people in a degenerate manner. My thing is, because if we are conservative, why in the world are always the white conservatives talking about black fatigue? Why ain't none of y'all talking about they degenerate? That's what I like about HAMP. We talked about the violent stuff that they do. But as black conservatives, we jump on to their conversation when talk about black folks. Talk about black fatigue. Ain't nobody talking about they pedophilia.
You know what it is?
You ain't just as loud.
Be careful of that. Be careful of that word. Be careful.
Yeah. But you want to know, Mufasa, you want to know what it is? I think that some of us are focused on optics more, and some of us are more focused on actually doing work. I know some, yeah. I think that the conservatives that you're talking about are focused on doing the work, and then a lot of the liberals are more focused on the optics of how things look. I think that's what it is.
Damn, that's not August. He's made a statement in there. What you think, Mufasa?
I mean, if that's true, then my thing is, to me, it seems like that as black conservatives, we're getting our talking points to come talk to the black community from white men.
No. The truth is always going to be,
because at the end of the day, when they say it's bad about the black community, no black has got to say what's bad about the black community. You see what I'm saying? You got to repeat what the hell they saying. You got to repeat the terms that they saying. At the end of the day, because if we conservative men and we say we don't like debauchery, guess what? It's a whole lot of debauchery to call out.
But
people don't just people. Why we got to keep it on just our people? Why can't we?
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, Mufasa, because we're not policing they people. I want them to continue to be debaucherous and do what the fuck they want to do and continue to go down this dangerous path that they're going down. I don't want to correct them. I don't give a fuck about them, to be honest with you. I'm focusing on me and minds, and so the correction comes for me and minds. That's what it is. Sometimes the words may align or whatever the case may be, but the truth is where we got to stand on and have that remain supreme when we talking to our people. The optics, that shit don't matter.
And we using words like black fatigue because that's what they came up.
I mean, if you don't like it, they got, but and that's understandable. But they got black people that are liberal that are saying the same shit on TikTok. Go to TikTok and they all over the place, and they not conservatives.
I'm not. The one thing I do want to say is I catch when I hear it is what Mufasa said is when he's saying we're repeating things that other people are saying. This is what I'm saying is like we give white culture, white people, whatever other people too much control, because if they say it and it's a negative thing, then it's like we can't say it because even if it's the truth. So it's like if white people say, so just walk with me here. For example, if white people said water, or if it was Donald Trump and he said this water is good. Next thing you're gonna say, oh, you can't say that, you're racist because you support this water that Trump talked about. Like it just becomes you mentally just skip a beat when you have these conversations, because we can't even be honest because we're looking at optics and what people feel about something. If something's true, it's true. If it's degenerate, it's degenerate. I'm sorry, somebody else said it. Like fuck them. That's the part we talk. Half of us always say, we say fuck them. Like stop bringing them up to validate your point. I'm giving you a valid point. Is it degenerate? It's degenerate. Don't give me excuse of why we can't talk about the degeneracy and why it should stop. And that's why people get. I think people like when people try to bring in this fatigue part. The fatigue part is because when we have these conversations, we can't be honest about it, and then people think we accept it.
You know what? This is my biggest problem with this whole entire conversation. Y'all complain about black conservatives speaking the harsh truth about the black community. Y'all didn't correct your mama when she said crazy shit to you. You didn't correct your homeboy when he said crazy shit to you. You didn't correct your girl when she said crazy shit to you. You didn't correct the nigga that's standing outside the liquor store trying to sell you a rock. You didn't correct him. You damn sure didn't go correct your community leaders when they was out here doing crazy shit. You damn sure not about to go up in the church and correct the black pastor when he's screwing everything on the front row. If you're not gonna correct them, please don't try to correct me. My language and my rhetoric won't be stifled for nobody. I'm gonna tell the truth. If you don't like it, click off. Period. Because that's the way. I'm just saying that's the way it has to be. Because as a black man who came up in this country, I understand what it means to have your language stifled just because you are black. But here's the problem.
You sound like
I'm sorry. Say it again.
You sound like a victim.
Absolutely. I sound like a victim. You know why? Because guess what? I was born and raised in a place where victimhood was valued at an all-time high. But when you start asking questions and you're going against the grind of why it is that I have to be a victim, why it is that I have to believe in this way, why do I have to talk this way, why do I have to vote blue just because I'm black? Because that's what people do. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, not that's what people do. That's what black people do. That's bullshit. So when I get out here and I start telling the truth and people just don't like it, oh well. You didn't like it when the white man called you a nigga, and you didn't like it when your girl said you had a small dick. Go deal with both of them. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Okay, so now that we are here and we're talking about the reasons why or what it is that people that have issues with black conservatives and the things they don't do or the things that they don't, they don't acknowledge or state their critiques. Most of the conservatives up here probably have 300 bodies altogether. How many bodies you got, Sel? How many bodies you got, August? How many bodies you got, Devin and Mufasa?
Bodies.
We'll start off with Sel. We'll start from Sel and then move down. So, Sel, how many bodies you got?
Why you gotta start with me?
Because you're right next to me from the left, and then we're gonna go on we're gonna keep on going down. Sel, how many bodies you got?
I stopped counting after 10.
Okay, but you know it's over 20, right?
It's definitely over 20.
Over 30?
Definitely over 30.
Over 40?
Definitely over 40.
Over 50?
I wouldn't say over 50.
Okay, well, we're going to put it right at 50 then, if not over. So 50 for you. August, what's your body count?
Bro, I'm in a loving marriage. I don't.
What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with your past?
I'm not about to sit there and talk about my body count. I don't fucking know. I don't keep up with shit like that.
You didn't keep up with it.
No, I want to know what the point is. Like, why?
Okay,
why
well,
do you need to know my
I'll
body
get to the
count?
point once I'll get to the point once I get a collective of how many bodies the
I'm not
conservatives have.
I'm not giving you an answer on how many bodies I have. Unless I know the premise of what your conversation is.
I'm trying to understand the point of the
question.
That's
fine.
So I'm not.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll for August we'll say 30, right? Because he seemed like he was holding around. He don't even want to talk about it.
I've been married for the last 14 years.
14 years. How old are you?
36. My entire adult life.
36.
Yeah.
22. That's plenty of time. You went to college?
I was in the Marines.
You a whore. Next.
I was married the whole time.
Cool.
I was with my wife when I was 18. I've been with my wife since I was 18.
And you never cheated?
No, what the fuck do you mean never cheated? No.
I was asking questions. So no cheating and only one body. So you only got one body?
What's the point?
I didn't say I only had one body.
So,
yeah, like what's the point?
All right, real quick. So I listen real quick. Well, it don't be intrusive to me about body count. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But I know what he's getting at. I think the question is pertinent.
It's very important.
Can we get to the question?
So Cell participated. August he been married since 18. Okay. Mufasa?
Just put me around Cell. That's good. 50. All right. Yeah. All right. You leave me right there. I'm good.
Go ahead, Devin.
I'm gonna just be quiet. I quit cheeky. Yes, sir. I'm gonna just be quiet at the 50.
All right, Devin, go ahead. What's your body count, buddy?
No, first of all, I'm not some 304 on some Red Pill podcast, but my answer is that I don't know my body count number, but I would definitely recognize my pattern of behavior was when I was left thinking. It was when it was.
So you have double digit bodies, Devin?
Yeah, like what are you saying?
Yeah, I would say I'm in double digits, but I would say all that happened when I was left leaning.
Let me ask you a question. Are you triple digits?
I wouldn't tell that. I wouldn't tell that.
Hey, y'all know I got a third grade education, so I just want to know what's the line.
What's the point?
But I want to make it pertinent that when any type of thing like that happened, I was definitely a left leaning.
All right, Devin, we got.
Can we?
All right, let him get. You want to get to the? All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Cheeky, finish.
Please.
I'm just saying, for all of these conservative men, your body counts is extremely high. There's nothing conservative about it. There's nothing honorable about it. You treat women like whores, and you are a whore, more than likely. There's nothing about you that sounds conservative besides the thing that you don't like about black people. And that's the part that most black people, kind of dismiss and look at y'all sideways at, because your lifestyle is not conservative. The things that you do aren't conservative.
That's
and your conservatism stops at a certain point. And then that's how the rest of you all live your lives. This is the issue.
So hold on, wait. Hold on, Devin. Wait. Hold on. Cheeky, I have a question because you did ask an intrusive question. So I'm gonna ask you an intrusive. Yeah, it's definitely. You asked about my body count, bro. I'm offended.
How's that intrusive? You ain't never bragged about fucking.
Have you ever cheated on? You ever cheated on your wife?
Right, you ever cheated on your wife? Like, God damn,
talk about?
What the fuck?
No, that's not intrusive either. Those are things that happen in relationships.
Okay.
And you were in the military. I got a reason to definitely ask that question. Don't act like the military is just known for people that don't cheat.
We going. So Cheeky, you're a virgin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say you're more conservative than me?
Yes, absolutely.
What are you conserving?
What do you mean? What am I conserving?
What are you conserving?
That's not the definition of conservatism.
What's the definition of conservative then?
To uphold some level of tradition, or uphold some level of consistency or of a belief.
Oh, okay, cool. So upholding a tradition, a belief.
Yeah, I believe in marriage, right?
Okay. Cool.
I believe in marriage. That's something I'll uphold. I believe in people taking accountability for their actions and being better and progressing themselves as an individual. Okay. I believe in not being a whore or whoremonger, right? I don't promote my actions. None of those things have ever promoted those things. Those would be more conservative than I think your actions would be.
Got you. So when you talk about conservative ideology, you're not including politically, right?
Yeah, I have some conservative ideologies for sure.
No, I'm saying when you saying that we're not conservative because we have a body count, that's not a political ideology that you're coming from that perspective with. You're just talking about our behavior, right?
Yeah, and aligning with your ideology, your behavior aligns with both.
Got you.
Absolutely.
So my nature and my politics is two different things. They do not coincide with one another. And I can tell you why. Because the majority of people, and I'm not talking about black people, I'm talking about the majority of people behind closed doors, they're a completely different person. On camera, they're a completely different person. When you're able to get away with things that no one will never know, you're going to behave different. But I agree with you about consistency. That does not make me less conservative just because I used to get paid to fuck other niggas' wives. That has nothing to do with it.
Bro, come on, bro.
God
That
damn.
sounds very progressive of you.
That sounds progressive.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, so what's the definition of progressive?
Anything willing to look forward or anything that to explore that's open-minded and taboo. You having sex with someone else's wife is not a conservative value at all. Because the thing is, conservatism doesn't just stop at politics, and that's what I mean by your conservatism stops wherever you don't want it to continue, which is fine. You could do that, and I'll just call you a hypocrite. But conservatism is supposed to expand into all aspects of yourself, which is what most ideologies do. For example, hemp. You have a belief or ideology about Black Israel or being a true Israelite, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That ideology expands into your worldview and also affects your behavior, does it not?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So what would you say to somebody that has an ideology that doesn't transcend into their behavior, but they say they believe it? What would you say about that person?
I would question their faith in that ideology.
Exactly. And
All right,
that's
so
exactly why.
let
And
me
that's
let me ask you.
exactly why I don't think.
Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second.
Explain it.
So really quick, because I did have a question that followed it behind that.
I got a question too. When you're done,
Cheeky, you a veteran?
Yeah.
You a veteran? So do you got a body? Do you have a body? And I'm not talking about sexually.
No, I don't.
You don't have a body, but you train to take bodies, right?
No,
not really.
Wait, what was your MOS?
I was an aircraft mechanic.
Aircraft mechanic. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I didn't train to take nobody's body. You got to start talking to Aaron and maybe Devin.
But you work with deadly weapons.
No.
So
y'all didn't qual. Y'all never shot. Y'all don't shoot or qual at all. Rifle qual. None of that shit.
Yeah, qualify for sure.
Yeah, okay, of course. So you shooting guns.
Yeah, once every year.
That's not very progressive at all. Because
I didn't say. Oh, wait a minute. Did I say I was progressive?
I'm just saying though.
Then you asked me if I'm concerned. Wait, hold on. Then you asked me.
Wait, hold on.
Then you just asked me.
Then
you just asked me.
Asked you.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a reason why I asked you about nature and about political perspective.
Okay.
Everybody's a hypocrite. I believe you 1,000%. Because guess what? I believe it. You know why? Because I always say everybody lies. Women lie, men lie, kids lie, old people lie, politicians lie, everybody lie.
What does that have to do with qualifying for a weapon?
Yeah, my political perspectives and the number of women I've fucked in my life has nothing to do with how it is that I view the United States Constitution and my belief in this country. There's two different things.
But you don't know my belief, and you are making an assumption that I'm contradicting something that I have not.
Absolutely. But when you ask me of my belief, when you ask me of what it is that I've done with my body, and then you attach the label that I'm not conservative, that I'm progressive, you would be incorrect. It's almost like when I call black people niggas and you don't like the fact that I call black people niggas because you see black people and niggas the same. You see what the problem is?
No, I don't have a problem with you calling black people niggas. I think you missed that mark on that whole conversation, but it's fine.
No, it's about what I'm saying is it's about my worldview, your worldview, and everyone has their own worldview. The thing is, I'm trying to draw a distinction that my nature as a person and my perspectives or my beliefs politically is existing, not one and the same, but they're existing apart just because I behave.
Yeah, conservatism is a philosophical ideology that involves politics as well.
Absolutely.
So that means that a philosophy can incorporate politics. It can incorporate a numerous amount of things, but conservatism is a descriptor of what your ideology is. You do not behave conservatively.
Right. But here's the thing, though. You have fiscally conservative and you have socially conservative. Had you asked which form of conservatism I believe in, that would have been a different question. And I think this is the wait. Hold on, wait.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to make it personal about me and you.
No. I'm not. I'm not taking it that way.
So for the sake of the conversation, I think this is the biggest problem that we as Black conservatives face, because people look at what it is that we do in our lives and they look at our political beliefs and they say that they don't match up. That's a problem, because just because I have a political belief does not mean that I have to behave all in my days of life about that, because the majority of people who say they're religious aren't religious at all.
And what would you call somebody that says I'm religious but doesn't behave religiously?
I would call them a hypocrite.
And what would that say about their character or set of beliefs?
They're a piece of shit.
But this is what I want to step in and say.
Well, just real quick, Devin. August was trying to get in. He was being patient.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been being patient too. I don't want to allude that to that, but go ahead, August.
Yeah.
It was to Devin's point. Because you're what I hear Cheeky you doing is you're attaching his past to his current ideology and saying that because he had a certain past, he's a hypocrite for evolving into this ideology. But Devin told you that when I was racking up my bodies, I was a liberal. And now that I have evolved myself into conservative thinking, I don't really operate. I don't know if Devin still operate like that, but that's when he was operating in that fashion, in that mindset. And I think that you can't say, because he's, he had a body count, he can never be a conservative. I don't think that you can do that.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's not what it is that I'm doing either. My whole standpoint is for people that have so much to say and for people that have so much criticism to give, there seems to be no nuance or or any level of understanding willing to give, or any appreciation for the idea that if you change, that means others can too. What you're willing to do is put a jacket on somebody and go, this is niggas, but never give niggas the opportunity to change. And then you will state after you do that, that's just how niggas is. And I'm willing to call anybody that do nigga shit niggas. There's no nuance in that take. There's no nuance. There's no development. There's no room for that. So why would I then give you the same quote unquote nuance and development of understanding and changing your political, or not even political, your
nobody's saying that niggas that niggas can't stop doing nigga shit and then be not labeled a nigga.
But your criticisms are that. Your criticisms give
so
that.
what's so I got a question. What is the counter to that? Should we just not critique? Is that what you're saying? We don't have a right to critique?
No, I'm not saying that. I think your critiques need to be more nuanced. And you need to stop defending white people, especially those who've already shown themselves.
Nuance how? How does the critique need to be more nuanced? Explain that to me.
Okay, your statement shouldn't be niggas ain't shit.
Okay, so what should it be? What should it be? What should the statement be?
Your statement should be, I hope that niggas are better, or I am doing this to make niggas better. What have you done? What have you done?
How's that a critique? How is that a critique?
That's not a critique.
Yeah, how's that a critique?
Why is it not a critique?
Because I need to do
better. I need you to do better, or I want you to do better. And here are the things that I'm doing to make this better. What are you doing to make the things better?
Hoping isn't a critique.
Fine, take away the hope. The point is there needs to be actionable steps or some type of engagement.
We're talking about critique first. You can't. You're saying that. That we can't critique.
No, my point is your critiques come, and I don't see the same thing that Hemp has said before. I've also said and seen. You make critiques without actually being involved with anything involving quote unquote niggas.
So I got to be involved with niggas.
Yes,
to critique.
Yes, in order for your critique to be in order for your critique to be considered
valid,
actual careful. No, not valid, because you can make whatever valid statement, just like you said about white people. They can say whatever they want, absolutely. But I, as a person, can make a judgment on your critique. That's fair.
Hold on. I got one quick question.
Let me jump in real quick.
No. Devin, hold on. Really quick. Really quick. It's really quick. It's really quick. I swear.
I will be quick.
Go ahead.
Both of y'all long-winded.
Hey, y'all, my man.
Go ahead, Devin.
Why we're having such an issue is Cheeky is simply trying to tell us what we believe, 2, put us in a box that doesn't apply, 3, the thing is even what he said is he wants us to talk with kid gloves to these people, and then the only people that can actually talk to them are other degenerates, not the people who've actually figured it out. So when you're trying to solve a problem or become better, is the person that's actually figured it out and is not participating in degeneracy and figure out that they don't have to do that to be accepted and move forward in life? Are those the people that should be talking? Or are the people who've been doing
the blind leading the blind? Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Exactly.
So
Okay,
here's
Hold on,
let
Chief.
me let me
Go ahead,
clarify.
No, not yet,
Okay,
not yet.
Okay,
Go ahead, Sal.
so here's my problem, and this was my question. So since I'm not involved with niggas, I shouldn't be critiquing niggas.
That's what he said.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Please elaborate, because you said you're not involved. You shouldn't be critiquing. That's what you said.
Because
No, I
we
didn't
all
say
part
that.
of black culture.
didn't
And
say that.
anybody that know black culture knows the difference between black people and niggas. And if anybody should be able to critique niggas, it should be black people, because we are a part of the culture. That's what I'm thinking. But obviously, there's something that we don't know about niggas that we need to sit down and know about them before we can be nuanced in our critique with them.
Let him respond. Let him respond. He got a few different things to respond to. Actually, let me interject this real quick, right? When I hear the love thing, right? When you say you love a community of people and you want them to improve, love is an action, right? So you're gonna need more than just a critique. And so at what point do you stop critiquing and start doing? So when I see people not doing in the community, now I question their critique. And then if we have questionable past, like us sitting up here and we've only improved ourselves and not others, that gives me cause for pause if I'm just listening out loud.
I would question why that would give you cause for pause, because they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. What they're doing is they've evolved from the degeneracy.
It's not enough.
Operate.
It's not.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
what else? What else is expected? Because
yeah. So, like for instance, right? We're saying just as an example, we say YNs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But now, do you go? Do you help? Do you teach? Do you mold? Do you train? Those YNs that are the issue, we know they don't have fathers, right? I know from being a high school football coach that men coming into these kids' lives with that are absent of a father, you can make a great impact, especially in the high school level, right? So I got two boys that play on the Bears right now, and I can call them and they still call me, and they didn't have fathers. So I just think about the impact that you could possibly make. So since the possibility is there, I say you take yourself that's improved and at least try to help improve others while critiquing.
You see, I that right there, I can agree with that. But not everybody. But here's the thing though, but not everybody is a coach like you. Like me personally, I hate explaining shit to people that don't understand shit. So I don't have the mental capacity and patience to sit down with young people that I'm better off doing other things. And I think that you can't say just because we're not doing it this way, where we're actually in a community, that we're not contributing, because us playing our part and getting our family together and creating that nuclear structure and being that example, I think that is enough.
Yeah, I'm saying that gives me cause for pause, and it's simply not enough. That's what I'm saying.
I think it is enough.
I will argue
that it is enough. Because
what did I say?
What did I say?
What did I say that was different than what you just said, based on what you heard me say?
I disagree with him.
I know that's the overall gripe, right? If you don't talk me to death, don't face fight me. If there's such an issue in our community and we have improved from our degenerate days, we know what it's like. So now when I go talk to them, he can't talk to me about 12. He could talk to Aaron about 12 skinnies and confuse him. He can't confuse me. So that's all I'm saying. I think we can have a greater impact,
And based off of what I just said, that wasn't confusing to you, was it?
I don't know who you're talking to. You talking to?
Yeah, I'm talking to him.
No,
I'm just trying to make sure.
No,
I'm just trying to make sure the words that I spoke were clear for those who were actually listening. Now, I didn't say you couldn't make critiques, but it's very similar to what Hamp just said, and August just agreed. You just weren't listening when I was speaking, but that's fine.
I didn't agree with that.
I'll go ahead and speak to what Devin was saying. No, all of those things that y'all have, I don't know what y'all did. Y'all didn't listen. All I'm saying is the exact same thing Hamp is saying, plus this. No one that's in the Black community is going to accept that, because everybody understands what it means to be in a situation that is not very kind to you economically, socially, whatever the case. And for those people that actually have a connection, they're willing to do and pull or help however they can. The issue that I have, and most people who are black have with conservatives, is you all don't do shit besides talk shit. And you everything that you do only regards you. You're a selfish piece of shit. And most of your lifestyles don't even fit what it means to be conservative if you take a look at it. That's the issue that a lot of black people have with black conservatives.
Can I respond right quick?
I just got a question. The reason why I say that is because
ask the question.
Okay, my question is,
and then Cell, I got you, Cell. I want to hear your response.
What happens if you have to calculate whether or not, number one, allocating time, but also calculating the danger of yourself being removed from the family that you are supposed to protect? Like, say, like my allegiance, and just to clarify, my allegiance goes to making sure that the family that I created comes up in prominence. But you're asking me if I'm going to critique black culture and nigger shit, I got to go out into the community and put my life on the line and help out.
What's the question, August?
Yeah, well, I don't know what the question is.
But I'm asking, how do you calculate that? Like, do you keep that in mind? Is that something that you would calculate?
Yeah. So am I asking you to risk your life?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah. So is it doable for me to risk my life to prove that I'm doing something that's enough for y'all for me to be able to make the critique? That's what I would have to do.
I mean, I would say, right, if you weren't my actual friend, I would say if you scared, get a dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my kids have to grow up in this community, and the community is a group of families. So if there's nobody influencing little boys around me, eventually his friends take over. His friends at 13 have a greater influence than his daddy. Hopefully he can hear his daddy while he making smart decisions, but those friends have a great impact, right? And so if I can impose my modus operandi on those boys, right, the community in itself does better. So that's how I'm thinking of it, right? That's all I'm saying. You know, it ain't easy though, and it's risky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it just like, yo, bro, my 100 Black Men of America, they might have a chapter in your area, right? And we had to kick my guy. He was a part of 100 Black Men because he worked at the school. It's like he couldn't be in there because it was so volatile. Like, you had to get, these kids are 16, 17, 18. It's all boys. You got to get physical with them. Like, what the fuck you talking to? But he worked at the school. We don't. You see? So we can, but it really take that time. And I'm gonna call my uncle, and you be like, he might fucking call his uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's mean, So I catch a drift though. You heard? For sure.
Yeah.
So you remember what you were trying to say, and then Aaron, you could jump in.
Yeah.
Or you just got that.
So I'm zoning in on because I completely disagree with what you and Cheeky is saying.
Yes, sir.
When it comes down to the whole not enough thing, that whole not enough, that's a byproduct of single motherdom. Life isn't about what's given to you. It's about what you earn. Okay. And that's the biggest problem when it comes to niggas in the Black community. Nobody wants to put in the work. So why should I be obligated, or why is it expected to me to come save those that don't want to save themselves? It's not my responsibility to do that. And calling out the fact that when it comes down to the Black community and the niggas within the Black community and the acceptance of single motherdom and the acceptance of debauchery and the acceptance of degeneracy, I'm focused on that problem. It's not my responsibility to come save y'all. How about y'all deal with the problems that's going on within y'all community? Then y'all can change. Learned behavior is changed behavior. So I shouldn't have to come down there and coach football. I shouldn't have to come down there and coach boxing. I shouldn't have to come down there and coach a track team. I shouldn't have to come down there and do a chess club. I will do it on my own spare time, but there is no expectation of me to do that, because why am I being expected to do what you won't do for yourself? That's a problem.
Okay, so just to be clear, we were speaking on children, by the way, those who may not know better, which I think is the bigger or key part of that, right? Like, you can't always change an adult. But you
hold on, Cheek. It's gonna read this over you. Hold on.
At Sean Brewer 2139 donated $20 through Super Chat. Conservative raising their kids is 100% better than what HAMP ever done. Reason why? Because if everyone did their part, it wouldn't be wines. Is it our fault that we raising ours? Selfish is taking
from ours to help yours. Yeah, no, I think if you have to take out your kid's mouth, that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying that
That's not
time
what
we
you
use to masturbate or play video games, go down there to the, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was talking more so to the ideology
Not you,
because
not you, Sel. I was talking to
no
Sean.
the
I
super
wasn't.
chat. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh
I was talking to super chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Oh,
100%.
okay.
I think people taking care of their kids is should be the status quo. I'm just saying that it's not, And I'm not patting people on the back for doing what we're supposed to do. That's another thing that I think that we have overblown. Cell is like we are men to take care of our kids, and they gotta throw a party for us. That's the job. That's not above and beyond. That's the job, right? We just look at it as exemplary because we have an issue with single parent homes and such, right? But that's the job, right? I expect you to do well by your kids in August too, right? I'm just asking that because you guys have grown, right? You're doing right by your families. Maybe there's just 1 day, 2 days, 2 hours. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying, you know what I mean? Sell your pants and shit like that. Cheeky, if you want to finish saying what you were saying, I just want to make sure Big Aaron got in too.
No, we'll let Aaron go. He hasn't been able to speak it.
I was trying to because it was one little small part I was trying to get out before y'all had to start talking.
All right, just condense it quickly and then Aaron will jump in.
So the thing was, it was just about the not enough thing. What is enough? That's my question.
I don't know.
What is enough? What is that? What is that bar? Where is that goal line?
So just to answer quickly, I don't know, to be honest, right? Because we have things. We have
expectation.
Well, because I know what we're doing isn't enough, right? So that one thing I do know, but I don't know what's enough, right? I don't know if just coaching football is enough. I don't know if community service with Omega Psi Phi is enough. I don't know if 100 Black Men of America mentoring is enough. I don't know if hiring 14 Black men. I don't know, right? But until I see a level of progression, that's when I could tell you when it's palpable to me. But I don't have a good answer for you, just to be honest.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Aaron, what's popping?
Yeah, I think what's really happening is when you make a critique without offering help towards like reaching a goal, what happens is that critique becomes a platitude, and that platitude will eventually become very alienating, especially if the critique that you're making is, towards something that the person doesn't even acknowledge or recognize. You know what I mean? And to August's question about do we expect him to risk his life and this is a risky endeavor to go help YNs? I don't buy that because that says that the only option that you have available to you to help them is something that's dangerous, and that just can't be the truth. There's other ways, there's other things you can do to help the community. I mean, what about simply encouraging and spending time with like the nerd quote end quote community or whatever, or the kids that are trying to do the right thing and they just can't figure it out and they just need a nudge in the right direction. Because what you end up doing is you're fortifying and appreciating and applauding and celebrating the kids that are doing the right thing. And by doing that, you're now making that part of the culture. The conversation we had yesterday and last week, or the other day and last week, is that the things that we celebrate in the culture and prioritize are usually the worst of us, and that the best of us aren't celebrated as much as it should be. So get the fucking celebrating, you know what I mean? Like, and then maybe this kid that needs help that's up under Hamp's wing will look at this other kid getting attention from you and like going places and doing really cool shit that says, you know what? All right, it's worth doing the work that Hamp's saying, because Hamp is over here kicking my proverbial ass. Right. And well, there is a reward because that little joker over there is getting it. You know what I mean? Like, this has to be a multi-pronged approach. But yeah, just critiquing without putting
any help,
putting in effort is not good. That cheapens the whole thing.
I would disagree. The reason why is because, like, I use myself as an example. If you critique me and you give me a certain perspective that I didn't have, which it's my responsibility to be open to, that is helping itself. Your perspective,
you're not a YN.
Well, I know I'm using myself as an example because critique is help. Critique for you to take a situation or see something that I'm doing wrong and then explain to me, hey, this is wrong. You got to stop doing that shit. That is help. Otherwise, I could just completely I could completely ignore the situation. This is the thing. I can completely ignore the situation, and what you're saying is, and this is what I'm gathering. What I'm gathering from what you're saying is that I'm an asshole for giving you the help of my words and my perspective that you are doing something wrong. That's
No.
basically
That's
what's
not
being
what I was
said.
saying. Because that's not what I'm saying. Because if I wanted to say that, I'd say you're an asshole for
I'm talking.
critiquing
I'm
people.
because your boy ad lib. That's what I was. Y'all was kind of on the same wavelength. So I'm not specifically what you were saying, but he ad libbed
Oh,
that.
oh, you were addressing someone else. Go ahead. My
No,
bad.
I'm addressing you, but he ad libbed that
No.
I'm an asshole. I'm
Well, to
addressing you
fortify
though.
the point, when you offer a critique to someone and there's no offering of effort towards helping them, how that's a platter that you don't even show them what it is, the path to the success that you're critiquing. That's a platitude you're creating,
What do you mean?
which will
Because this is how I perceive it, right? I don't think that there is nothing else I can do for a person who doesn't want to make a change. So if somebody offers me, this is me personal, and if somebody offers me advice and they're able to give me a perspective that I can use, that's enough for me. You being able to critique something I'm doing can institute a change in my mind. If I send a critique out to critique out to a YN and it doesn't institute a change in his mind, that's not my job to go down and be like, hey, I need to make you change your mind and look at this, specifically.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
I
you're
don't think that that's
operating on
fortifying
two.
myself.
No, you're operating on two opposite ends of the spectrum. The one end is when you say it works for you. Well, you're not a YN, and you're also capable of more than surface level reasoning,
Yeah.
right? And then on the other end, you're saying that um, you're not responsible for making them see what it is you're trying to tell them. No, that's not the case. But you do have a level of responsibility for showing them, especially if they obviously haven't seen it yet, and you're critiquing something that they haven't even seen. What's Hamp say? It's like telling somebody that's overweight and needs to work out, get your fat ass in the gym if you want to lose weight. All right, and then do what? I'm fat. I don't know what to do with the gym. I'm going to go in there and start picking up things that don't need to
Random
be picked
stuff.
up,
See,
right?
but the thing about it is that that's how you're supposed to start. You're supposed to go in there not knowing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing and figure it out for yourself. It's not my job. All I have to do
No.
is give you the. This is my perspective, and the only reason why I
Humans
say that
don't
is
even learn to walk that way.
they what do you mean don't learn to walk that way? They learn by walking and falling down. That's how you
No,
learn.
they learn by their parents holding their little hands up in
And
the
guiding
air.
them.
Nah, sometimes they just get up and start walking. That's what my sons did. They just got up
Sometimes,
and no.
right?
You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
All the times that I seen children start walking, they just got up one day and started walking. That was it. They
Yo,
took a
After
few
a couple of
steps,
months of
fell
their
down.
parents
we have
walking them around like ET
we
with his hands in the air.
no, this the honest truth, right? Just and we a little bit off subject, but I think this is equally as important.
It's part of no, we're not. This
Okay,
is
okay,
conservative
yeah,
mindset.
I
This
stand
will fall
corrected.
into it. Yeah.
Nobody did none of this shit by themselves. See, that's
Nothing.
the other part. My father was awesome, but I had awesome coaches that helped hone me into what my style was and all that, just in terms of that, right? My mom used to be up with me till 3, 4 a.m., right? I ain't getting those. Now, she couldn't help me with the AP classes as a senior, but I only got there because of everything she poured into me. I was on the fucking swim team, bro. My mom made me do everything you can imagine, my nigga. And I just think we just got to make sure that we understand and make sure we pinpoint all the people that helped us, right?
I got a
And then why
question.
wouldn't we be that person for someone else is all I'm saying. But like for instance, me and Sel was talking earlier. I said, how you doing and all that, right? He told me, there's no way I would tell Sel, hey, get your ass out there and go to the Boys and Girls Club right now. He don't got time. You see, I'm not being obtuse. You feel me? He doing awesome things, him and his family, you heard? Right? You see, man, he tired. Why? Remember, he told us. So I'm not unreasonable. But now you work for yourself. We do YouTube. Niggas got a little bit more flexibility. I don't give you the same grace. Now, August said he ain't a teacher. Okay. He sure do talk a lot, though.
He sure do talk a goddamn lot.
So there's a teacher in there somewhere. You got an opinion to give. There's effort there somewhere. So I disagree. I think you could hone that skill. Patience is a virtue.
It is.
I-
But Can I say something just real quick?
Yeah, you gonna say it anyway? You asking us for? You gonna say
it? When you broke down your past,
right, sir? What are you asking us for?
Why you asking? You already got it talking. And nobody else talking. Just say it, bro. Just jump in now. Okay.
My bad. Look,
ahead,
when you broke down your past, you broke down all of the things that that structure that you had. But a lot of us, myself included, we had to overcome a lot of shit. So I had to do all my shit by myself. I had to figure it all out by myself. My mom wasn't up at night teaching me how to fucking, do math and all that. I wasn't a great student in school. We was usually struggling. When I left the household, I had a bill attached to my name that was for my mama that I had to pay off going into manhood. So I definitely had no damn money. I had to do it all by myself.
You
so
found a man. You found a man.
How do you
the Marines?
How do you expect?
Okay, I give you that one.
At 18, you found.
No, that's not how that worked. That's not how that worked.
Hold on, Sal.
Mini men.
Mini men.
That one. I'm
They
gonna give
just
that
ain't
one.
gone to the recruiting office yet.
Wait, say it again. What you
I
say?
said that's exactly how that works. Marines are born Marines. We just haven't made it to the recruiting office yet.
Yeah, that's because y'all wasn't given the correct box of crayons to eat yet. That's all.
Right. We found out at the recruiting office that you got to eat the blue, not the red.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to eat the spicy blue.
Now, August, let
Right,
me not
spicy
take
blue.
away from your thing, and I got one more question I got to get to. Right?
Yeah.
You are a self-starter, though. You self-motivated. That type of person that person will, when thrown into something, be more likely to be successful, right? So we leverage that for sure. I'm just saying, do not forget the catalyst along the way. And I'm just asking men that have gotten to where we are, why wouldn't be willing to be that catalyst for somebody else? That's all I'm saying. It ain't nothing crazy. I'm saying, you know what I mean?
Hey, explain why. That's the thing. Hey, explain.
I'm gonna tell you, it's overcoming all the things that I've had to overcome, and then it's almost like I had to reinvent the wheel to create the structure that I have here. Because me and my wife, we both came out of nothing. So that in itself is a feat. What I was speaking to is the fact that you kind of had a leg up because you were able to get a lot of what you needed poured into you early on, so that when you hit the ground running, you already know how to move and shake. Whereas I gotta learn as I fucking go. I gotta choose to go to the Marines. I gotta look at it and say, you know what? I have nobody's opinion out of father, none of that shit. I gotta figure it out for myself and then learn as I go. So that the experiences is different. I think that you have a lot more bandwidth to be able to be a teacher and be able to give back and different things like that than motherfuckers like myself that then came up surviving all through their fucking 20s and still able to manage to keep a family together.
Hogwash.
Yeah.
Because you have a leg up as well.
More.
It is that Marine mentality, right? It offsets the things that you say you didn't have. But what about YNs that aren't born with the Marines mentality, nor do they have in their environment the things that like DJ Hamp and I had as far as support? Then what?
Then you send out the correction and say, y'all fucking up. I'm gonna be an example of what it is that you need to see if you want to know, and if you're interested, I'm here for you. But the door ain't closed. But I'm not going out and doing no outbound marketing. I'm gonna still give the critique. I'm gonna still give the instruction. But if YN comes and he says, hey, I like what you're doing over here, sir, can you show me the way? Hell yeah, I'm gonna show you the way. But I'm not doing no outbound marketing.
You just did though. When you said, if you want to learn, if you want to know how it's done, I'm here. That's outbound marketing. That's making yourself available.
No, what I mean by outbound marketing is like going out and trying to find that. You remember how you was discussing a little earlier about the nerd and being able to find the nerd and who just didn't have a dad and pour into him. I would have to go out and search for that nerd. I would have to be consistently going through and involved in different things to find that nerd to be able, because he's not gonna just come. He's not gonna just land in my hand. I would have to find him by coaching or some shit like that.
All right.
How do you find the YN to critique
No, that's not necessarily true.
Kind of going in a circle just a bit.
But go ahead.
How do you find the YN to critique them? Is my question. If that's the case,
because they're usually visible to
Why?
the forefront, kind of like to what we were saying earlier. Is like when we were talking about fatigue, and I was just saying that we have visual representation. I mean, you usually see them visually represented within the media, social media, and so forth.
Critiquing that.
and so Hamp, it goes full circle.
Bro, stop using Hamp as your crutch. Just talk.
You mean using HAMP? Look, smart guy. All right, I'm not the one that's handicapped up here. All right, so
I'm
slow
not
it down,
handicapped
buddy.
either.
Them teeth look a little handicapped to me. They all fucking crumbling up.
Oh,
Now,
you want to know? You
what
want
I'm gonna
something
say?
to match?
Here we go.
Now, what I'm saying is, HAMP.
What?
This is why the whole this all aligns with the conservative mindset, right? It's not that this is too far off or away from what it is. They've already expressed their thoughts and ideas, and they keep repeating it. They don't have any real connection besides I made it out. And if you see me after I'm talking shit about you, then hopefully me doing that will encourage you to reach out to me. But if we know anything about human beings or how human beings typically work, that's not how that works. You can't. The first thing you said as a or first thing you came on the internet saying that I can remember was it's hard for you to give critique if you don't show any love. What human being doesn't understand that and then maintain the ideology? What I'm doing for me, is it not enough for me to do for me and me only? And you just look at me and then go, oh, I know how to do it? No. And I don't understand how they have missed that so many people have poured into them, whether it be directly or indirectly, more directly than indirectly. It's teachers. It's the people that helped you there. It's the sergeant that you encountered. It's somebody helped you. No one did this all by themselves. And we know this from a fact because that's not how any society works, where they done it all by themselves. That's their mindset. It's very selfish and it's very easy to shit on people because that's what they like to do. And it's for the betterment of black people.
Let me read these real quick. If y'all want to do some more, like kind of close this one out. And I think I got one more and then like one more question. Let me just read these real quick. Callie with the $5 says, cold part is y'all bought into white people's bastardization of the term black fatigue. Black people said it first. It had nothing to do with what Sel was talking about. Well, Callie, that's the thing. We agreed upon the colloquial definition and then had the conversation. Devin, I think the brothers know, what the original, the deno of it. But we agreed based on the definition that I think Cheeky presented, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Hanifa with the $10 says, Hamp, do they know who coined the term? What racists and conservatives have turned it into is the exact opposite and misrepresentation of what she wrote about. It's actually a name for her book. Yep. A Dub with the $2 support for your show, DJ Hamp. salute. A Dub, hope all is well. Polo with the $5 says, difference between black people and niggas is attitude. Love from Fiji. Salute, man. We like it, man. Be safe out there. RNC with a $2, excuse me. How come Chris Rock could tell the difference? Callie Bev with the $10 says, optics matter because it affects how you're treated by the public who don't know your behavior. Ellipsis. Because it's black fatigue, not let me wait and see how you act fatigue. RNC with the $2 says, does Cheeky believe progressives are degenerates? You want to answer this? Yes or no?
Yeah, everybody to some level is probably a degenerate.
Nico with the $5 says, fellas, historically, virgin meant a female who never had sex before because women have a hymen, men don't, making men share women's shame. Well, that's not actually
I didn't get that one.
The definition of virgin.
Yeah, that's not the definition. Sean Brewer, salute. It read this one, right? Yeah, the $20. Sean Brewer with the $2 says, why they daddy can't take 1 or 2 hours? Yeah, I don't know why. I just know the nigga ain't there. That's all. Sean Brewer with the $5 says, helping the community is making sure your kid's not labeled a YN. Clean your house up first. Everyone did that. Then look at the community. That's what I said, though. That's the interesting part, right? Because remember, I prefaced it with men who have achieved, men who are doing well, which means August house is clean. That's all.
You said I'm not doing enough. You know what I mean? It's not enough.
But listen, it's not. But look at the super
and I
chat.
can't critique unless I do more.
No. So don't keep adding, right?
That.
Just to try to get it right. I'm saying that, you solid now. I said take a couple hours as opposed to masturbating or playing video games. I also said cell plate is full right now. I ain't asking him. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing crazy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, got me for like 30 more minutes. I got homework to do.
Oh yeah, that's just we got 30. got 30 more minutes. So. Deacon Dave with the $2 says, call your own real dad for an hour a day. Damn, son. Leslie with the $5 says, for the goal. One more to smash it. Indeed. Mike flexing with the $5 says, good dialogue. I agree. Raw in the building was popping with the $10 says, Cell is the best, period. Indeed. And she is not biased, by the way.
No, she's not biased.
She's not biased.
She ain't biased at all.
Straight down the middle. That's why I like. That's why I fuck with Marv.
Yes, she is. She biased. She like that.
She not biased. She not biased, bro.
She like him more than us. She is biased.
Just a little bit, though. You know what I mean? Raw with the $10 says, shout out to the good husbands and wives that appreciate them. Happy evening, everyone, and good job, gentlemen. I agree. I did a good job, man. Hey, so racism. First question, does racism still exist? This is a yes or no. Cell say yes, absolutely. Cheeky?
Yes.
Big Aaron? Devin?
Yes.
Mufasa?
Yes.
August?
Yep.
Does it exist to the point where it still affects people's progress? Black people's progress, more specifically. Does it still hold black people back? We'll start with Devin. Yes or no?
Gosh, yeah, I don't like these yes and no.
Well, you'll have an opportunity to give your context. I just need the yes and no first.
Yes.
Mufasa.
Yes. Yes.
August.
No.
Big Aaron. He froze?
I think Aaron froze.
Did you say yes?
He froze.
Yes.
Yes. Cheeky?
Yes.
Yes.
Sully?
No.
Devin, why'd you say yes?
I say yes because I don't think it's a physical action or like anything that's hard written down. I think it's a mentality that we've been placed into. So I think we are our own worst enemy because of the things that have happened to us. We think a certain way, and then it cripples us from actually making progress that we need to see within our community.
Okay, I got you. You're saying yes because black people believe racism holds them back. That's why it holds them back. Regardless if it is actually systemic or systematic, you're saying the ideology that black people have adopted is that racism is holding us back.
Yeah, because at the same time, it's a genuine issue because it has happened. It is a thing. It has happened, but it's the ramifications that's happened afterwards that we need to fight through. But when it comes to what needs to happen is literally making our own bed in our life. We will see a drastic change within our lives.
Mufasa?
Well, I say yeah because I just think a lot of things that we're experiencing today has a historical context to it, and I think that we cannot just automatically say, "Oh, it's 2026 and none of this now exists." As a conservative, I have to admit that hey, I can understand what was going on in the 60s and the 50s and understand that certain things have translated to the day. We haven't went in and say, oh, all of you who benefited in the Jim Crow era or before, you don't get the benefit of any money that you made then. So my thing, and then we have nepotism. So it's a lot of things that I think that's baked into society that we just can't get rid of at this point. And it's always going to be some form of it. And we have people that are passing down things to their children. You can't really, I don't know if you really can stop that, so I just always think a part of it would always be here.
Okay. And you think the part that still exists is enough to hinder black people specifically?
Yes, economically and employment wise, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Big Aaron.
Bros.
I don't know what's going on with
He's like
Aaron.
partly frozen, but I thought he could hear me.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
You choppy though.
Is it glitch?
all the way chopped.
Yeah. It's glitching.
Oh,
Egregiously so.
all right. Oh, all right. How about give it 2 seconds? All right. How about now? Is it?
Yeah.
I think he got.
A little bit better. Oh, nope.
I think he got boost.
You ain't shit.
Cheeky,
Boost
go
ain't
ahead.
even around no more, bro. God damn.
Is it better now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you better.
All right. What was I saying? Oh,
You said
everything.
yes. Why?
Yeah, everything LaFonso said, and then on top of that, racism may not be as overt as it was back in the day. I mean, it's not coming in the form of German shepherds and 4-inch fire hoses, but it is definitely prevalent in the psychological operation of America. Right? It's wrapped up in our image, the image that we are able to formulate for ourselves, the image that is created of us that other people perceive, and the way they interface with us in day to day life, right? Absolutely has an effect. Not only that, but you can't expect a group of people that started a foot race against their competition without legs and a 20-yard head start, and then expect them to be able to catch up, let alone win, without doing something to offset the head start and handicap that they started with. And I don't see anything to date that can truly offset the handicap and head start that we had to deal with.
Okay.
In fact, I think it speaks to the resiliency, strength, and ability of Black people to catch up as far as we have without a balancing of the books.
Cheek.
Yes, I think that while racism is definitely more covert, there's been enough um, evidence, especially with the young Republican group chat, where people of power, when they feel as if they have some level of anonymity, will express how they view about their views about Black people, and these are people that are that make votes and determine what laws will get passed and what's happening, and that affects Black people very directly. The more that you look into things like AI, the more you'll start to see lawsuits are coming about because AI has shown some level of discrimination towards Black people in regards to how they take a look at the resumes, the naming. They're using AI for everything, even policing, and that has been an issue. And if that's not fixed, and it disproportionately affects Black people, that's going to be an issue. Same thing with the Supreme Court situation where they gutted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, things like that, things that disproportionately affect Black people, and there's no correction for that. It's still in play. These things are covert, but it's still happening. They still take a very big effect on how we are able to gain a level of income, any type of wealth, anything involving those things. There's still cases of redlining still happening where people are suing and getting, and earning their or winning their law cases against companies because of racial discrimination. We're at a point where it's like it's harder to quantify, but we know for a fact it's still there, and they keep showing themselves to be there.
Can I ask a question real quick about the AI? How is AI
No.
racist?
Hold on. So,
I'll be honest with you. I need you to repeat the question, please.
racism still holding Black people back.
Oh, no, not at all. No, you have more successful Black millionaires today than you've ever had in the last 20 years. So definitely not. That's the short answer I'm giving.
Okay. August.
I say no. I think that we have an opportunity, and the ability to make choices. I think just to Aaron's point, he was when you were mentioning that you don't see a way. I think the way I think I do see a way. I think that the way is the nuclear family. I think that if we do the self work, a lot of the issues that a lot of black people are complaining about will have the organization and structure to be able to combat those issues. But the only way that we're going to be able to even fix those issues is not complaining outwardly to a group of people who should have no interest in what the fuck we're doing anyway and have no benefit of helping us anyway and work on ourselves.
You
And
didn't
so I
catch
don't
what
think
I
that.
said.
Go ahead. What you say? What I missed?
It's I didn't say that I don't see a way. I don't see how anything has been done to offset the Head Start and handicap that we were required to start the race with. I don't see a balancing of the books. It's not that I don't see a way. I don't see a
I
correction.
Okay, I don't think that I think that to expect a correction is what's handicapping us. I think that we should expect it to be the way it is and understand that we got to fight our way through and don't expect any I don't see why black people expect the white man to help them. I just don't understand it or expect them to, fix the handicap. Why would they do that? I
I
don't get
don't.
it.
I don't expect it. The question
So
was, how has racism influenced, our ability to do well today? And one answer to that question is the fact that we are still running a race that we started with a handicap against people that had a head start. And there's been no correction. So therefore, racism indirectly has influenced the way we are able to succeed today. I'm just answering the question. I'm not expecting anything.
Can I give a little pushback? So, really quick, are we still up under the black codes?
I don't know what that is. What is this?
Are we still up under the black codes? Do we still have Jim Crow laws?
No.
Oh, okay. So there's been changes to the system on a policy level that has definitely helped black people. Would you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
By all means.
Because there's no period of time to reverse, right? Just because you bring things back to center doesn't mean that there's a balancing of the books. If things went left, bringing it back to center doesn't mean things are fixed. Things would have to go right, and then back to center to balance the books.
So I'll use Hamp's words really quick. What will be enough? How do you balance the books?
400 years of purgatory.
you mean for the white race, like where they're not fucking mobily, financially mobile? Is that what you mean?
For anybody and everybody that is conscribed to contributing to the success of black people.
So I'm just trying to understand. So when did slavery begin in America for black people?
Long ago. I mean, that answer was kind of hyperbolic. To say I don't really have a concrete answer as to what would be enough, but not having that answer doesn't take the wind out of the sails of the explanation that I gave.
Why?
Gotcha.
My other thing too is why would we go back to slavery when you just mentioned black codes? When was that around?
Black codes was, and I might get this wrong because I'm sleepy. Wasn't that like early 19s, early 18s, or late 18s? One or two.
Reconstruction to the 60s.
And then you said Jim Crow. So why would we go all the way back to slavery and not to the more recent things?
I was addressing where he said that there hasn't been no change. And my thing is, we have a multitude of things on a policy level that has been done within this country to try to bring us back to center, or at least make us equal as black people within this country.
But
go ahead.
But the assertion wasn't that I haven't seen a change.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was that I haven't seen anything to compensate for or offset the Head Start. It's not that I haven't seen a change.
And that's why I asked the question: what will be enough, or what is the thing that is needed to bring us back to equal in the race?
That the problem is infinitely complex, so the solution is going to be infinitely complex. I mean, it was 400 years of a lot of designing and intentional legislature, and I mean, there's so much generational shit. Like to have an answer for you prepared today is something that I mean, it would take 10 years to write that dossier and then another 10 years to begin to enact it.
Right. So the reason I'm asking this question is because this is not towards you, Aaron, but this is just toward the rhetoric. As Black conservatives, when we come up with these statements or when we have this rhetoric, they always say, well, you're not offering any solution. I'm just asking you a simple question. If you're saying that there's a legit acknowledgement of a handicap within this race, that this foot race that we're in, then what will be the deciding factor to bring us back to equal, if not push us into where we need to be or where we should have been 400 years ago? But the problem is this, right? As a Black conservative, what we do is we acknowledge the fact that there definitely was a handicapped start. When the gun fired and everybody took off, we got told to wait 400 years. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not discounting that. But what I am saying is that in the last 40 years, how many Black entrepreneurs, Black businessmen and women, Black celebrities, Black artists musically have traveled the globe, have encumbered trillions of dollars, and yet the majority of the community is still in a position where we saying we want more?
Well, yeah, lots, but that doesn't mean that racism isn't having an effect. It is.
But that's racist against who? Because of it, unless it's affecting everybody, or unless it's affecting everybody or on a majority level, then is it really racism, or is it lackadaisical effort?
You just said trillionaires, billionaires, and millionaires. That in and of itself is a small population.
Yeah, racism doesn't have to be absolute.
I understand it, but what I'm saying is that when it comes down to those trillionaires, millionaires, and billionaires, there's a reason that they're trillionaires, millionaires, and billionaires, right? Because they had the work ethic to get up and go do it. Of course, I'm agreeing with you, Cheeky. There was people that helped them along the way, but you have that same opportunity offered, if not afforded, to the majority of those that still stuck within the minority, and they squalor those opportunities that they give.
No, you don't. And that's
where's the sellout? Where's the sellout enter the picture? And do we think that these gazillionaires have sold out?
How do we know they don't have the same mentality that y'all do, which is, I'm doing well for me, shouldn't that be enough?
So then, wait, huh?
Well, the argument, right? Because if we're saying look at the people who are successful, you would have to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, right? To have full context of your argument. So you're saying less than 1% have made it to this level. That's proof positive of what? Outliers don't disprove anything. They prove what the problem is. They don't disprove. Another thing that people misconstrue is because there's also 13% below the poverty line. So where do you still man your argument, right? Another thing is you can't actually be these things, right? And I've said this several times, but read the book called Outliers when you get a chance, right? If you haven't already. You can't be Bill Gates. Your parents don't work in a computer lab at a university that you can walk to, right? You don't actually have those things available to you. So you can't actually just say, I'm going to do it and do it. Things need to be in place for you to be successful. You know, there's a story in the book and they're playing hockey and they're using the kids' birth dates. One kid was born in January, the other kid's born in August, but they're both 10 years old. January is whooping August ass. Why? Because he's 6 months older, right? But when you don't have that context, you're like, man, August really sucks. No, August is a fucking 6 months younger, and you know, for kids, they growing like dog years. But now once you have the context, you're like, oh, it makes sense. So I just want to make sure that this makes sense.
We have the context of the times that there's more than enough opportunities for people within the Black community to get out of the situation that they're in. But what do they choose to do? They choose to be dependopotamuses, and that's a problem.
I wanted to say something. I think that the least that if you're gonna say that we need something to be able to get equalized, you should at least be able to articulate what that is. Like there has to be some type of litmus of something that we can aim for, that we're gonna say once we get this, we good, you know.
Okay,
But that
sure.
it's
We can do
always
Yeah.
it's always this, you know, magical, you know, fleeting thing that we're still asking for, and we're not even organized enough to just at least know what the hell we want. I mean,
August, I definitely agree with that statement. I think the biggest issue with this whole conversation we've had is like every time we bring up a point, it's always like, here's a disqualifier. You got to do this on top of this. It ain't the same way on the opposite side of the aisle. It's not saying, oh, who on your side is doing X, Y, and Z. Because it doesn't matter. It's like it's just a disqualifier to say, hey, you're not doing this, so you shouldn't be able to talk. It's another shut up and dribble talking point.
mm-hmm.
It's
No, it's
another
not.
shut up and dribble.
No. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. The disingenuous question is, so what's the solution? Right? We're having a conversation about the issues and the breakdown in people's ideology, right? So to now, while in the conversation about understanding, saying, okay, so what's the solution? That's the disingenuous aspect.
Well, Hamp,
Figure it out.
how about this?
No, I don't think it's disingenuous.
Well, we're trying to figure it out because I don't really know what you know or how you see it. So how I'm going to give you a solution and I don't know your ideology thoroughly.
So I'm gonna break it down into the ideology. You know, just kind of understand.
Well, no, I don't need you to. I speak a little bit more charismatic than you, right? So this part, you come in my boxing gym.
Just had to say that about that man.
Well, cause I'm gonna say it. You know, I love that's my man.
He doesn't think how I think, so he can't say how I say it. But I'm gonna let him. He can,
right.
He can
well, cause here's the thing, cause you zoom in, right? So if you come, and Cell knows this, if you come in the boxing gym, if I don't understand your body type, archetype, what you good at, I can't implement nothing for you. So if we in the midst of a conversation, right, and I don't know what you do or don't value, how can I then give you a solution that you think is viable? You see? So if August don't appreciate money, if I start throwing money at the problem, he gonna say, the fuck you telling me about money for? I'm talking about nuclear family, right, August?
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we still in the midst of it, is the point. Go ahead, Devin. You can say what you was gonna say.
Yeah, no, and I get that, and that's why I think when we have, I think why this conversation is important to have, and that's why and I brought this. I said some things earlier about far as like the excuses, and I think those excuses come back to the liberal or the left leaning mindset. Because when you talk about economic things, you're talking about criminal justice, you're talking about education, you're talking about healthcare, whatever, it always ends up depending on a government or a higher entity who we claim is racist, who's against us, who don't support us, and we're complaining about this, you know, the Jim Crow, slavery, and all stuff that we acknowledge and we accept as facts and true. But that's what you want to lean on to then save you. But when you're talking about more conservative, we're leaning more towards, you know, maybe our faith, strong family, you know, having safer neighborhoods. Our economic policy is more of create for yourself. So you're not asking for, you know, assistance. And then the people, when you create, you're able to, you can even see this within the policies within the United States. The people who are having the issues are the people who are saying, let me take away from the people who decided to figure it out. The people who have, and those people are running away. And you can see the direct reflection of it. You can see it in Chicago. You can see it in California. You can see it in New York. You can see it in all these places. They are literally taken from the people who create. And that's the mindset I'm saying. Bring it to the black community. When you switch it to the conservative perspective, we're talking about creating for ourselves, teaching ourselves, you know, developing more like, you know, our own stuff. So then we know the enemy is out there. We're talking the enemies out there. So when we want to fix something and we need to do something, we're coming back to us because we have it figured out. If you claim the system's racist and we agree with that, stop asking for them for help. Stop depending on that. And that's where and then when we have these points, it's always like disqualifying your thought process of how you think or feel about something. So it's more like I said again, shut up and dribble. And I'll end my plan there.
That's crazy because literally, Hamp just sat here and told y'all that when you make a critique, that's not enough. Follow it up with action. And now you're going to sit here and say that we're asking for handouts? No.
I gave a whole bunch of
Here's
action.
the solution. Here's the
I gave a whole
solution.
bunch of action.
Hey, man, here's the solution to the problem. Issue the critique, get involved with helping the people avoid being critiqued for the same thing twice. But isn't that getting it up out the mud? It's helping your fellow man up by his bootstraps once you've gotten yourself up by yours. Because let me tell you something. That's what the white man did to keep us with his boot on our neck. That's exactly how that plan worked.
See, I think
we're not asking for shit. We're just simply asking questions on how things came to be. But when you sit here and say, oh man, what's a solution? All you want is a handout. No, we just told you, get the job done. You just can't expect a person that has never seen the finish line to even know which direction to run. You say, run to the finish line. Well, where is it? What's a finish line?
I gave a clear example of why. I gave you clear, concrete, and precise things that we needed to do, which is we need to create our own within our community and keep it with our own. HAMP has always said we need to be more racist within our community. And I agree with that to a certain extent, to where we're always outsourcing. Our money always leaves our community. We need to be building our own. And my issue, again, like I said, is we're always waiting and wanting handouts from the people that we say are racist and holding us back.
So you're all about action after critique too, then?
I'm talking about I'm talking about action, and I think when you're able to create, you're actually able to help. And then you're able to help the people that you want to help. Not asking for the help. This is the whole talking point when it says black people vote blue but get nothing.
That wasn't a complicated question.
Well, okay, what is your question that you want me to answer?
You're all about action after critique, yes?
I don't think those after. You can do both at the same time.
Yes.
That's why I used the word after.
He said after.
Action after
okay,
critique.
Sure.
Jesus.
Okay. I said same time, but you will go with after.
But here's wait, stop. No, Big Aaron, respectfully, you know you're my guy, but you're wrong though, right? Because that's been the ideology that's been pushed forever. The majority of people who was raised in these single mother homes, they didn't get action, they didn't get solution, they got consequence and critique.
Right, exactly.
But here's the problem. You know what these niggas, I ain't gonna sugarcoat this shit. You know what these niggas did? These niggas sit back and said, man, I sure wish somebody would come help me, instead of getting off your ass and helping yourself. So respectfully, I hear what you're saying, but my thing is you're asking a question that you yourself can answer. You just have to get up and go get the damn answer.
No, that's like telling you to go to the gym and telling you to lift weights, get in shape, and become a bodybuilder.
Right, I understand that, but here's the thing, though: to go in the gym, you first got to do what? Go to the gym, right?
Wait. Yeah, but if you can't identify a gym as the place to get in shape,
Aaron, I understand that, but here's why? But wait, why are you asking the question? How do I get in shape? And someone gives you the answer: go to the gym, and you won't even go to the gym.
You don't know what the gym is, where it is, or what one looks like.
What do we say about most black people being in middle to upper income area?
What do you mean?
Most black people are either in the middle class or upper. Like when you add them together, the middle and the upper, it's higher than the lower.
I don't understand what
most black people in the middle class. Yeah.
Are you asking that question to me?
I'm just asking, what do we do with that information that black people are just looking for a handout when most African American people are either in middle or upper middle?
Those wouldn't be the people that's being.
And I think you're taking.
Those wouldn't be the people that's being talked about. I don't understand.
Okay,
I think you're taking the handout part a little bit too like welfare, like when it comes like that type of mindset. No, when people are talking about handout, it's like you're always expecting somebody else to fix the problem.
Oh, okay. So you mean you're expecting for America to be held accountable for the promises it made to black people?
You say that one more time?
I love that point. Say it again. I can answer that. Say it again.
Oh, I didn't
You
see.
mean
He was saying
handout?
promises. Go ahead. Finish your. Say it again so you can answer.
I'm just saying, the expectation is to not hold America accountable for the promises it made to black people.
That would be nice. That would be nice. But is it gonna happen? Is it reality? Are you living in a fairy tale waiting for it?
Devin, you making the wrong statement. Yes, hold America accountable for the promises that it made to black people, but don't hold your breath waiting on it. Why would you sit there? Hold on, but this is my point. But this is my point as a conservative. Conservatives don't sit there and say, man, just sit here and just wait, man. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on taking the crumbs. Ain't no waiting. What promises has America made to black people?
40 acres and a mule is one for sure.
Sweet. Not cool. Quantify that for me, Cheeky. You a smart individual. You a very bright young man. Quantify that for me.
Give me a second. Let me do some
economic
calculations.
Take your time.
I just can't come up with that at the top of my head. But there should be, but that is an example of economic and a very tangible thing, and that is a way, and there is a way to calculate that.
Sweet. Right? So, give me the value of a mule today.
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Like, give me the value of 40 acres.
Oh, I can look that up quickly.
Yeah, well,
sweet.
What you would do is you would value the mule from when it was said
for the work,
and then solve for inflation and etc.
Inflation,
right?
There you go.
And then you have to solve for time, right? Because a mule will also appreciate, so you have to qualify the time as well.
Right.
I mean, the numbers are easier to put in an equation, right? That's not the difference.
Absolutely. It's been done a multitude of times, and every time it gets done, the number gets bigger. But here's the problem: that number is only awarded to people who are direct lineation to descendants of slaves. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So those people are going to get this money, and these is where Big Aaron at? Where does Big Ass go? Big Aaron. These are the same people who don't know what to do at the gym. They just know they want the money. So we're gonna send them the money, and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
What they gonna do with the money?
That's not my.
Wait, that's not the point.
Oh.
See, and that's
that's absolutely the point.
No,
so
that's
no.
not that. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Not the point I made.
What it is, we going fast, right? So what happened was they owed something. You're saying, give it to the people that's owed, right? You then can't
Absolutely.
but then we trying to police what people do to the thing that you owe them, right? People are gonna do well, but that's the thing. Because remember the questions are what the questions are. Now we're going about what we think people are gonna do with the money, right? I think the key is for me, if I had a solution, if there has to be a financial aspect of it, in my opinion.
It has to. Mm-hmm.
There has to be a financial aspect. I err on the side of getting it, doing your best with what's at your fingertips. If they were to just like wipe away debts, college debts, mortgage or something, those things that people have worked for and obtained, then you say, hey, go ahead and erase this mortgage. Now the money I'm already earning, I can do more with, right? Because most people's money is tied up in a mortgage, about 30% or so. Right. If I was trying to make a tangible idea. So it's almost like people who actually made a way for themselves now alleviate some of those stressors,
Hey, Hamp, you just explained why the majority of black people was pushing to vote for Biden because Biden said, we're going to wipe away your debt. And they bought it. And when the conversation came up about reparations with Biden, guess what he did? He sidelined that shit. He said, I'm not talking to y'all about reparations. We got more important things to do. We have a rainbow coalition and a brigade of gay frauds we got to take care of.
Why the hell
we need to worry about.
We'll keep it on ideology. It's not.
I am keeping it on. We're talking politics.
Don't mention Biden because they're gonna bring up Trump.
They can bring up Trump all they want, but
I thought the Biden nigga is the nigga that wrote the stop and frisk shit.
Yes, he did. The 94 crime bill.
I don't know how y'all fuck with any of these crime. I don't get it, to be honest.
Easy, because niggas like to buy into shit that does not help them, such as the Democratic Party. But I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. I do have to get this damn syllabus. No, for real, I got to get the syllabus. I got to 11:59, or I'm not gonna get graded on it. So I appreciate y'all having me. I just wanted to make that statement. Get up
Yo, Sel, man, I love you. Hey, look, man, my oldest daughter said put that shit in the grok, man. Grok can get it done.
Yeah, I did. Matter of fact, all right, I'll do it next time. I'll send it to you, but I got to get this homework done.
No doubt. Hey, bro, be safe. You heard? Indeed.
Always. Y'all take it easy.
Hey man, shout out to Cell, man. Damn. Okay, so that because we kind of just running it together. So August, real quick, like is the issue with it is that so you kind of like with Devin, if people think systematic or systemic racism is in play, they default to being lazy or taking the easy path for resistance or pointing the finger.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
gives a sense of hopelessness.
Our mindset is on it. The example that y'all gave a little earlier was you talking about the gym and how to get big in the gym, and instruction and critique is not enough. And it's like, for the person you asking me about the gym, because evidently I know more about the gym, and my advice to you is to go to the gym. I don't have to. I figured it out when I went to the gym on my own. I developed my own program. I found resources and different things like that. So if you want to go to the gym, you will already be in a mindset to already want to do that. But what's happening is that we have a very lackadaisical mindset where we're projecting outwardly and not focusing inwardly, which is far more effective for us to do to be able to fix our issues. All of the things that you're talking about, that 40 acres in the mule, all that shit, you can't do that without no power. And the way that we establish power is through the nuclear family and structuring our family the correct way. And then we're going to have more power. But you just keep pointing to America like, hey, come fix this. Nobody's coming to save us. That's the point that I've always been making. But it's like y'all want us to do what do y'all want us to do? You haven't really put a number on things. You don't really know what it is that you're asking for, but you want some shit, and you keep talking about how they had a leg up, initially, which I agree. But let's get past that. We got to start focusing on whatever it is that we need to do within our community. And the people that's doing it right, this is the last thing. The people that's doing it right, you critique them and say that they're not doing enough, because they got to go out and do an overcorrect for the corrections of what happened in the community. I just can't get along with that.
You keep on going back to that. August, you're not built to do that part. I understand that, right? That's not in your modus operandi. Secondarily, that's not how the gym works. That's not how these hands work. If you walking in my gym, coming in there with YouTube University, they're gonna beat the Snoop Dogg shit out you. You have to go. Well, no, that's what you said. You have to go get a trainer. You have to go to get with somebody that boxes. If you think you're going to watch YouTube and come in there and spar with niggas who really got a coach, you're going to get your ass handed to you. So what happens is, yes, no, that's what you said, right? So here's the thing. I'm not doing what you're doing. I'm not saying, hey, go to the gym. I'm saying, hey, come with me to the gym. Right? Because I'm the one that can actually instill the values. It's just not the same ideology. You're not willing to help people. We understand that, but you can't keep admonishing when we saying that that's the way, because you keep talking about community and family. And if people don't have fathers, what the fuck do you do? Right? You just wait for people to die off? Like, how does this actually work in real time? Dead ass. Like, how does this work?
What I'm saying is, and I was using the workout gym as my
example. Let's not use that. Fuck that workout gym.
Let's use the boxing gym.
Yeah, let's use that one.
So I'm talking about the ideology. Like, I walked into the boxing gym. I desired to want to know how to box and throw hands. So that's what I did. I walked into the gym and I found a coach. I didn't have to have somebody come and walk me along when I say, hey, I want to box. Nobody can. So but here's what we're arguing: the chicken or the egg, because the idea has to be inside of my mind to want to have the gumption enough to make the mobile action to go and find the coach.
But found the coach.
But what you're saying is that the way we have to handle the youth, or whatever the case may be, is that we got to say, oh, he said he want to box, so I got to walk him to the boxing gym and, introduce him to the coach. And, you know what I'm saying? It's like there has to be some level of gumption within self that motivates self to want to acquire these things. I'm not saying that I wouldn't help anybody. I'm saying that I don't have the time or the bandwidth to go out and outwardly bound find people to help. But if the youth comes to me and they say, hey, I like how you fight, like my little brother down here, right? He don't have a dad. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be his dad for real. He in the gym with us. He trained with us. I got his gloves. I paid for everything. I'm doing it all for him, right? but that's because he's here. I'm not going out and find motherfuckers and clean up messes, which I don't think is productive. I think that more my energy being more invested on what it is that I'm accomplishing would do more for the community as a whole than trying to go out there and do what y'all saying. That's all I'm trying to say.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, because it's not it's, I don't know why, because it is a conservative thing to do this shit. They really think talking shit about people is actually help, and it's not. And when you talk to people that just don't know anything, it's not that they're unwilling to learn or they don't want to do it. They literally just don't know what to do, especially when we keep talking about the youth. They're young. That's the difference between being older and wiser and young. You have some semblance of what to do and something to do, and that's fine. But we've already heard it, and they made it clear as day. They don't give a shit, and they don't care about helping shit, and that's cool. So be happy with your family and be happy with your brothers. I gotta go now, right?
I got a question.
Say like, dude.
Oh, you running?
I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop this board. I got bingo hamp. That's all I'm gonna say. And we got over 50%. All right. I'm gonna drop the board. I'll catch y'all later. It was a great time. You'll see, run it back, Hamp. Figure out what you want to do with the info.
No doubt. Salute the cheek in the building, man. Go ahead, August. What you saying?
What I was saying is that, like, even like with Cheeky, right? Cheeky have never raised kids. You know what I'm saying? So he has an opinion about shit that he don't know about with the youth. I know what it takes to have to raise kids. I know what it's like to have to deal with a child where the mom has already, you know, and it gave him his worldview and the way that he perceived things, and then have to work back on that after he done made, 14, 15 years old when he wild and she can't handle him. That's what's happening. But when you raise children and you actually understand the psychology of children, you understand what's involved. My personal thing is that I know that I wouldn't even be able to commit the time that it would take for it to matter for me to make that type of investment in that child for it to make a real difference in his life. I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
August, that's different. Doing this. But that's different, my heart. That okay. I can accept that. Because you saying like, yo, why should I? You saying, yo, listen, that shit is a real process to invest in a kid, and then you start, really building a bond, and it's a whole lot that go into it. And then you have to rip yourself away because your time is limited, right? I can understand that, I think if you do it, you got to do it. But I'm just saying, I know that we can have great influence and be impactful instead of help kids set a precedent for themselves on just a few meetings, I just don't want people to get sick. Because this is what I used to say. The platitude is go to the gym. That's the reason why Planet Fitness got so many members, because one, is cheap, and two, they got pizza on Tuesdays. People on the machines backwards and forward, they don't know what they doing, but it's lax in there. Everybody out of shape. Everybody don't know what they doing, so it's comfortable, And I just like, damn, man, I just think we got to push a little bit more. That's all.
Doing curls with a row machine and shit.
Crazy hell in there, bro. It look crazy, bro. Let me read these real quick, y'all. Sean Brewer with the $2 says, Cheeky speak just like a liberal. As Ava says, August, are you a disabled vet? I don't think so. You want to respond to this? Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. Level up. The DJ with the $5 says, who promised 40 acres and a mule? Yeah, had that been substantiated? I thought it was some, like on a battlefield or one of the generals or something.
It was something that was proposed, but it was struck down by a Democrat, the current Democrats at that time. I think it was during the Abraham Lincoln.
Oh yeah, but I thought they said like a general said it or something on the field,
Yeah, General William Tecumseh Sherman. Yeah.
Yeah. RNC, so he don't even have the power to do that, to enact that.
He didn't have the power. That's why it was never a law.
Yeah, it was never something. Yeah. RNC with the $2 says, if America is racist, why more poor white people? Oh my God. Is it because it's a lot of them?
More of them.
AL with the $5 says, stop saying create for yourself when white people receive so many handouts, i.e. Homestead Act, early access to welfare, New Deal in suburbs. Yeah, one thing that I think we gloss over a little bit in the conversation while we saying, hey, do for self, land is a catalyst to a lot of things. And just think about not being able to do the gold rush in the West and not having access, like land
all
is
that
very,
wealth,
because even now,
all that fucking wealth.
most black people's millionaire status is wrapped up in their assets. Most rich black people come from real estate. So just think about how impactful, land is. Rainbow Kid with this announcement: the final dismantling of Jim Crow laws was achieved throughout federal legislation in the 1960s. The effort was led by Democratic President Lyndon B. Johnson. As Ava the analysis, as a black conservative, I want what they were giving, which is land grants, free money, land, head start, cash, and cash gives us what you gave them. What hard work do Walmart boys have to do? Legacy with the $5 says Jim Crow laws are still around. They have been rebranded under different legislation. Rainbow Kid with the $5 says the irony of Sally Sell bringing up the dismantling of Jim Crow laws. Democrats did that. As Abe with the $5 says black men need to stop thinking they've made it earning six figures when Truman is maintaining generational wealth. Aaron perspective 100%. Sean Brewer with the $2 says the hood hold you back more than racism. Fact. As Abe with the $5 says yes, because USA contract country and our success depends on whether a person in power allows us an opportunity. Majority of the time, whether RNC with this tells us, can all racial groups be racist? Yes. Sean Brewer with the $5 says racism can't hold you back now when black people have scholarships just for black people in Congress and everything. The PAL, what are you saying? The pale people in, I don't know what he's saying. And they got one more. Hold on. Rainbow Kid with the $5 says, and the true leaders of the opposition were black activists who were not associated with Republicans or Democrats. RNC with the $2 says a young mule costs $2,000 today. AL with the $5 says, according to ChatGPT, General Sherman reserved the 40 acres and mule at a present land value plus 5% compound interest. It's $1.6 million each family. Okay. What you think, August, man? Any final thoughts?
Man, I think we did a great job unpacking it. I learned a lot, listening, just getting perspective. I think some of us are focusing on doing and progressing the community in our own way. I think it's shameful to try and critique someone for not thinking or aligning exactly the way that you should see the way you see things. I think that black men who are taking care of their families and building that wealth and understanding that, I think that that's the direction we need to be in. They need to keep doing that, and we're gonna keep critiquing. You know what I
mean? Indeed, Devin.
I think this was, I guess, just my answer is based off this being, I guess, a cheeky question and idea. I think the one thing that was displayed is, even though we all consider ourselves conservatives, we all had somewhat of nuanced view on how we thought. And I think Cheeky, the way he spoke, put us all in a box of how we thought, how we processed things. And then also when we came to qualifying our points, there was always some extra added thing that we needed to do to validate how we think, how we process information, and what we believe, which I think that's very cheap. It's intellectually low, and lazy when we're having these conversations. And I think overall, I think the real racism comes from left-wing policies that make us depend on a system that we don't trust, that we hate, that we admonish every time we come up here, but somehow want to always align with that. So when it comes to conservative, I think when it comes to conservative and Republican, and when we think about these policies, a lot of they don't care. I don't think either side care about that. But the mindset that I think we need to have for us to grow as our community or as individuals align more with conservative beliefs than what left-wing policies try to push on us that I could tie through history as actual racism.
Indeed. Mufasa?
Yeah, man. Hey, I love this show. I wish Cheeky was still up here, man. Man, great concept. But one thing I wanted to say to my conservative brothers, man, you can be pro-black and conservative. I want to say this to Cheeky too. we can be black and conservative. You know what I mean? I think it's room for us all. Now, my thing is, I would say that you got to be black first. You can be black first and be small government. You can be black first and don't want a handout. All right. So when we think about black issues, I think a lot of times we put our ideology above our over our people. And like I said, I think we do need to help our people. I do think that a lot of conservatives who are coaches, who are teachers, who are a lot of things that I think we like to discount and just think they're all liberal. No, these are conservative men. Some of them are conservative men. So, I do think that a lot of times that you can be pro-black, you can think about your people first, and also you can be conservative politically and say, you know what, I do want a smaller government. I do want to take the Booker T. Washington philosophy and like I said, get more vocational training and build our community up through the private sector and through our skills. You can do that and be a conservative. I'm not conceding on one of the two. And then another thing, we stop getting our talking points from white folks. Black conservatives, we need to come up with our own talking points. Like if we believe that degeneracy is bad, then degeneracy across the board is bad. Don't say I don't care about white folks because they ass care about you. Be a conservative and talk about it all. That's all I gotta say.
Indeed. Yeah, man, I think it's interesting, just the concept and the ideology, I'm not so sure if black people are as conservative as it's been said. And I've said it periodically, but I'm not sure how much I believe it, I think we need a real set of prescriptions that the majority of us can be held to, because I'm in alignment with August, and, community is a group of families. And if my kids can't go to your house and you live next door, that's a problem. But we have so many different prescriptions, it's hard to normalize and standardize. If we don't have the same or similar beliefs and want the same outcomes, there is no accountability. And I think that's important. I think them titles do us a disservice, conservative and liberal. This, from what I learned, the Democrats is Republicans now, but they was Republican or Democrats before, or some shit like that. Dixiecrats, and you got the Tea Party, all types of shit. Right? Two sides of the same coin, right? It's like a double-headed snake or a double-edged sword to me. I think we exploit the system that's in place as much as possible. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And investing it back in the people that are willing to pour back into you. But it's only hard but fair. That's for goddamn sure. So, hell of a show, man. I had a fun with this one, man. I really enjoyed listening to y'all brothers. Y'all did a great job, man. Yeah. Join the Discord. I'll see y'all on Friday. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe. And make sure y'all subscribe to the brothers. You know what I'm saying? They be doing the Lord's work, along with myself and all that. August Moore, Chaotic Clubhouse. Big Aaron got the War Report whenever he not bullshitting. Devin also got a Discord that specializes in trading, right?
Oh, yeah. How do you know that?
It's me.
You hiding it from us, Devin?
No. I didn't publicize it because people have bad feelings about trading, but I've been helping, my black community.
Yeah, I just want to send you some money. You trade it for me, and I'll take the risk.
I'm actually in a trade right now, to be honest with you.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna send you some money and put it on you, Devin.
Yeah, that's it.
And I lose it.
Yeah, man. Let's get it popping, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.